Good morning, everyone from the Hudson Valley. This morning, we talking Republican politics. As you guys come up in the live stream, will y'all please double tap the screen for me, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Man, it's beautiful out here. Like 30 miles from New York City, from Lower Manhattan, man. You know what I'm saying? In the Hudson Valley, it's kind of chilly, but it's gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? This morning, guys, we're going to be talking about Republican politics. You know what I'm saying? We don't talk Republican politics a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? I like Democrats, and I pick Democrats a lot. I'm going to start off by saying, man, that I believe that America is going to have a woman president, a female president. I'm not sure, you know what I'm saying, when and where, that's going to happen, just like we weren't sure when and where America will have a black president. In my opinion, me being an independent, I don't care if the woman is a Republican or a Democrat. I just think that it would just be equal and fair, not trying to make it equal and fair, but just to show that women are qualified for the job. That being said, besides me having a bias about that, you guys see me supporting a lot of female politicians, I will lay down the groundwork for why I say Nikki Haley will be a finalist. I will make that prediction right now. Right now, in 2026, and I mean before spring, I'll go on record in saying that Nikki Haley will be a finalist for you guys. And when I say finalist, I mean she will be top 3 for the Republicans in 2028 in the primaries. I've said this before, and we'll look at some numbers in just a second. President Trump, he got over 70% of the vote in 2024. That's the MAGA vote. I don't believe the MAGA vote will be that strong. It will depend on how good he does as he governs. But that being said, I believe at least 30% of the Republican vote will be looking for a candidate outside of President Trump who has nothing to do with President Trump, and Nikki Haley would be perfect for that vote. Guys, if y'all haven't liked the video, I ask that y'all double tap the screen for me, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. We welcome everyone in the live stream, Republicans, Independents, and Democrats. What you guys can do for me, you guys could get down there in the comments. You guys could let me know what you think and how you feel as we go over the content. I'm going to read something for you. My source is AI. You know what I'm saying? Or Wikipedia is a simple search. Republicans expressed concerns about Trump's candidacy due to his loss in 2020 and his alleged role in inciting the January 6th Capitol attack. So we seen that in 2024 when VP Harris ran her campaign, when she went and got Liz Cheney, because of how many voters. You see what I'm saying? You had 21, 22, about 23 million or so voters in the Republican primary, and Nikki Haley got over 4 million votes. So there was a large faction of the Republican Party, you know what I'm saying, about almost a quarter of them who weren't interested in voting for President Trump, okay? His ongoing criminal cases against him and the results of the 2022 midterms in which several Trump-endorsed candidates lost key race. Many others supported him and decried the investigations politically motivated, and Trump maintained high favorability ratings amongst Republican voters. And it's important to look, as we look into 2028, to understand that President Trump, not only does he still maintain high favorability rates amongst Republican voters, but what I'm saying is that I think that he will continue to pass his presidency. You see what I'm saying? My analysis is I think you will have a similar situation in 2028, however. Depending on how good or bad President Trump does, will depend on how much the party wants to move away from everything Trump. Because I think that you will see that. Listen, in 2024, the voters had a choice. You're going to either pick Joe Biden, regardless if you Democrats want to hear this or not, this is the facts. We got to just go by the facts. I'm an independent. I'm not a Republican, but I'm just speaking the facts. You had a Joe Biden who had incredible job numbers. He's got the best job numbers in the history of any president recorded. You see what I'm saying? He had incredible job growth, but at the same time, inflation happened under Joe Biden, okay? So the prices get high. They don't come down, all right? And you had and on top of that, President Biden is old. He had several incidences where, you know what I'm saying, he couldn't necessarily keep his composure. The voters were worried about whether he would be too old going into a second term. You know what I'm saying? The oldest president at that time in U.S. history. So you had a choice between him and a President Trump who might have had all the problems that I listed before, but the voters cared about the cost of living, the cost of goods. They remember under that first President Trump presidency, right directly prior to what inflation took effect on the American people, they remember under that Trump presidency, prices being cheaper, being more affordable. You see what I'm saying? Taxes being low. You see what I'm saying? President Trump might not have created a whole lot of jobs prior to COVID, you know, in his first term, but it wasn't hard for an American to get a job, a good paying job. So American voters had a choice between a Joe Biden, who was kind of old and the prices got high, and a President Trump who might have had a little bit of drama or a lot of bit of drama, but they remember those low prices and that's what they were expecting, okay? So we understand that. I said all that to say is that it's a little bit different if you have a Trump on the ballot in 2028, because this time, if President Trump didn't get the prices lower, they're not looking, you got to understand that they're not looking for if President Trump would have came in there and all of a sudden all the prices are back down to where it was when he was first president. Thank you for the donation, guys. If y'all want to donate to the channel, hit the button with the $sign in it. Your donations are much appreciated. Imagine if all the prices were down back when President Trump first became first president, okay? And I'm saying, like, so there's no wars, there's no COVID, we're past COVID, stock market's doing good. You see what I'm saying? That's the expectations that the voters had for President Trump when they gave him that second opportunity, this opportunity. So if he would have fulfilled those expectations, not being successful with Maduro, that's not what the voters voted for. They did vote in part for closing the border, but that's not the main reason why they voted for you. You see what I'm saying? Not having a successful, keeping Iran from having a nuclear weapon, because the voters care about that, but that's not the main reason they voted. The main reason they voted was for those prices to be lower. The main reason they moved away from President Biden is for them prices to be lower. And I'm saying if those prices are not lowered, and that's the main reason, then the Trump appeal in 2028, especially when you will not have an actual Donald J. Trump on the candidate, you would just have his likeness. Who's his likeness, Ghost? His likeness is J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, or Ron DeSantis. That's one of those three candidates is who I predict is his likeness. You know what I'm saying? Those are the most MAGA of any candidates. And I imagine if you put Marco together, that'd be the establishment version of President Trump. And you put JD, that'd be the one that's on the stock market, the Libertarian, worried about the money. You see what I'm saying? And then you put DeSantis, that's the ultra conservative. You see what I'm saying? Like going, attacking the liberal institutions and ICE in the cities. If you put them three together, then that's President Trump. So I feel like those three will represent MAGA. But if the main thing, in my opinion, is the economy, and if President Trump has not fixed those prices, if he has not fixed those prices come 2027, fall of 2027, in 2024, following the Iowa caucuses, again, this is AI for the source, Ramaswamy and DeSantis dropped out of the race and endorsed Trump, leaving Trump and Haley, Nikki Haley, as the only remaining major candidates. Trump then debated Haley in January 23 New Hampshire primary, albeit a smaller margin of victory than he showed in Iowa. He defeated Haley again in February's South Carolina primary, Haley's home state, a month later, after Trump overwhelmingly Victories nationwide. On Super Tuesday, Haley suspended her campaign on March 6th, having only won Vermont and Washington, D.C. Her victory in the Washington, D.C. primary on March the 3rd, 2024, made her the first woman ever to win a Republican presidential primary contest. So, guys, y'all know Nikki Haley. I'm telling you guys, in 2024, she was the last woman standing against President Trump. President Trump had a lot of contenders. I mean, you would think that he would be looked at as the incumbent. And I would say in 2024, when y'all say President Trump was looked at as the incumbent, yes, he was. But he had a lot of contenders. There was a lot of people who ran for president. And so in the Republican primary, everyone drops out, and Nikki Haley is the last one left standing. She is the candidate that is, I would say, the anti-Trump. Another thing about Nikki Haley is, if you think about all of the Republicans, besides maybe Vivek Ramaswamy, I'm doing my best, y'all. And then DeSantis, but I would say DeSantis is further right than even President Trump is. When y'all say that, I would say you would say DeSantis might not be MAGA, but he's going to be like far, far right. If you look at all the other candidates, I would say to me, Nikki Haley is that candidate that remains separate from President Trump. And I'm saying if President Trump, like I said, if he didn't fix the price of goods, then I think a large section of not just the Republican Party, but the American people, of course, will be looking to move away from anything Trump or anything past that America has had. Anything Clinton, Obama, Bush, none of that. We want to move past that. We want something new. And I'm saying within the Republican Party, in my opinion, again, Nikki Haley remains as the top choice if you want to move away from MAGA or President Trump. In 2028, I think that the lane will still be open for Nikki Haley. I think J.D. Vance, Ron DeSantis, and Marco Rubio, if he run, will split the MAGA vote respectively. So if we look at the numbers, which we will in a second, I look at Marco, I look at JD, and I look at Ron DeSantis. And what President Trump did in 2024, in 2028, those three, I will split his vote between those three people, those three candidates. I think they'll raise the most money. If Marco Rubio runs, which I think he might, I think those three will raise. Also, you got Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, I forgot about him. He'll be a serious candidate. And he's outside the MAGA lane. But I think Ted Cruz and Ron DeSantis, I think they'll more or less vie for that ultra-conservative vote. And I'll tell you why in just a second, okay? But mainly, you know what I'm saying? Ted Cruz, you have Vivek if he decides to run. You have other candidates who will run in the Republican Party. But I say mainly that MAGA vote, in my opinion, it would be split between JD, DeSantis, and Rubio, okay? While they're splitting the vote, Ramaswamy, if he decides to run, is the only other centrist-style candidate with a name in the Republican Party, okay? Outside of Nikki Haley. But he's still more tied to MAGA, in my opinion, than Nikki Haley is. And I think that's important. Primarily, in my opinion, she'll have an entire lane to herself in 2028, depending on how she runs her campaign. I think she'll be a finalist just like she was in 2024. Okay, in 2024, President Trump got 17,015,756 points. That's 76% of the vote. In 2024, Nikki Haley got 4,381,799 votes. That's 19.68% of the vote. She got about 20% of the vote running against President Trump. Nikki Haley got 1/5 of the vote running against President Trump, the last one standing. What I'm trying to say is you don't have a Trump on the ballot in 2028, but you have, in my opinion, President Trump, he's got as much control over the Republican Party with MAGA as I've seen, as much as almost as any Republican in a long time, if not ever. So you're still going to have some Trump effects on the party in 2028. But what I'm thinking is, I would say about 65 to 70% of that vote will be a MAGA vote or a Trump-leaning vote. And I think it'll be split between three candidates, which would be DeSantis, which would be that ultra-right, that ICE, attacking liberal institutions, that part, of the MAGA movement, or President Trump. Then you have the one in the middle, like that Marco Rubio. You see what I'm saying? That Marco Rubio type of a Republican, the establishment, regular old school type Republican. And then you have that J.D. Vance. He's more of a, center, middle type, libertarian type Republican, focused on money and everything like that. And I think those three candidates will split the MAGA vote. And President Trump got 80% of it in 2024 in the Republican presidential primary. President Trump ain't on the ballot, but I think MAGA will be on the ballot, and I think MAGA probably gets 65 to 70% of the vote. But for those Republicans who are like, man, we don't want to go down, we don't want a third President Trump presidency, or we don't want another President Trump presidency in a row. You see what I'm saying? We want something different than President Trump. We want change. We thought President Trump was going to come in here. He was going to be different, with no wars, getting the prices down. The prices didn't get down. We went to war. It's like every other Republican president. We don't want to go down that road no more. We want something different. And Nikki Haley is not tied to MAGA whatsoever. She's not tied to MAGA. She's something different. She's something fresh. She's something new. I believe the portion of the party that moves away from MAGA in 2024. Now remember, in 2028, excuse me. Now remember, in 2024, Nikki Haley got 20% of the vote. So I think she might get double that this time. You see what I'm saying? I think the portion of the party that moves away from MAGA in 2028 without President Trump being on the ballot will be larger than 19%. I'm thinking it'll be more towards the low to mid 30 range, depending on how President Trump does in these last 2.5 years he got left in office, okay? If I'm correct, Nikki Haley will be a force to reckon with in the 2028 presidential Republican primary. Nikki Haley will run to move the party away from MAGA. She will run as the alternative to carrying on the Trump agenda. Y'all listen to this. If you have a bunch of candidates who are trying to connect to President Trump, you got Marco Rubio, he was President Trump's Secretary of State. He run for president, he going to be talking MAGA or talking the accomplishments. You have J.D. Vance, he was President Trump's vice president. So he run for president, he going to be talking MAGA or the accomplishments. And then if you have Ron DeSantis, even though he wasn't directly connected to President Trump's administration, he's still going to be tying to he's vying for that MAGA vote. That MAGA vote is the most vote in the Republican Party on the 2028 primary. Ghost told y'all that. That MAGA vote is the biggest and the most vote in the Republican primary in 2028. It still is. Nationally, Republican 2028, if you want to talk about 2032, we can have an argument about that. But in 2028, that MAGA vote, without undisputedly, will be the majority of the vote on any ballot in any Republican primary in the United States. Understand that, okay? What I'm saying is it's going to be like cannibalism for a lot of candidates that's tied to President Trump. If Marco and JD are both on the ballot, they're fighting for a MAGA vote. In my opinion, if Ron DeSantis is on the ballot, I don't see any other place for Ron DeSantis in the Republican Party but MAGA. So if Ron DeSantis is on a ballot, a Republican ballot in 2028, he vying for the MAGA vote. So what I'm saying is you're going to have a lot of candidates on that ballot. You probably start off with about 16 people declaring to run for president. Okay. So out of all those candidates, the majority, half or more than half, the majority of those candidates are going to be vying for that MAGA vote, because that MAGA vote is the most the most plentiful of the voters is still in the Republican Party in 2028. Understanding that, the candidates who are going to attract more MAGA voters, talking like I'm from New Orleans, voters outside of President Trump, the candidate who's going to attract the most MAGA voters is going to be, in my opinion, how can it not be JD or Marco? They're the most tied into the President Trump's administration or to MAGA. You see what I'm saying? So they're all fighting. It's a bunch of candidates fighting for that MAGA vote. There's going to be a large part of the Republican Party that don't want nothing to do with MAGA. They don't want nothing to do with President Trump. They don't want nothing to do with no Republican they know or heard of. They want to move away, turn the page, go the opposite direction. That's what I'm saying. That's Nikki Haley's lane. And I think that lane is fairly big for her if she's that only candidate maintaining that lane, just like she was in 2024. But that lane would be bigger, and President Trump won't be the only Republican over there against her. It's going to be a bunch of them, and they're all fighting for that. I don't think President Trump would get 75% of the vote. I think the MAGA vote probably be like 65% this time without President Trump's name on that ballot in 2028. So it'll be a bunch of Republicans fighting for those votes President Trump left on the table. And I think Nikki Haley will have a large percentage of, I think she's going to be one of the finalists. You see what I'm saying? In my opinion, if you have three candidates that stay in the race too long, that could propel her to be the Republican nominee. Do not be surprised. Y'all hear a lot about Nikki Haley in 2028, and I'm telling you guys why. She will run as the alternative to carrying on, the alternative to carrying on the Trump agenda. Guys, what I want to do is I want to play audio from Nikki Haley. This was published 2 years ago by Today. It's on YouTube. Okay, it was during the primaries, okay? And I'm going to just play this audio for you guys. If you guys haven't liked the video, if you're on a cell phone, double tap the screen, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. I was thinking if we were talking Republican politics this morning, we would have more people in here than this. You people always talking about Republican this, but it's like the Republicans want to talk Republican politics whenever we talking about Democrats. They just come in the live stream, hey, because we talking Republican politics this morning. I don't do it often, y'all. Here's Nikki Haley.
The former president yesterday endorsed a group of loyalists, including his daughter-in-law, to run the RNC now. The idea, reportedly, to bring the campaign closer to the party. What do you make of that?
He's just trying to control as much as he can control. But we don't want a king in America. That's the problem.
they heard your criticism earlier, and they responded. Trump campaign spokesman said, quote, Nikki, brain dead, bird brain Haley reeks of desperation as it's clear she knows she has no shot and is now auditioning for a cable news contract where 15 minutes are over.
It's a weak response. You know we're under the skin because you saw what he did at the rally on Saturday.
Over the weekend, Donald Trump questioned the whereabouts of Nikki Haley's husband, who's serving a year-long deployment in Africa for the South Carolina Army National Guard.
Where's her husband? Oh, he's away. He's away. What happened to her husband? What happened to her husband? Where is he? He's gone.
You know, to mock my husband, Michael and I can handle that. But you mock one member of the military, you mock all members of the military.
But the reality is he's talked about the military for years now in disparaging ways. Suckers, losers, John McCain, Gold Star families. What's different now? What's different this time?
Before, when he did it, it was during the 2016 election. Everybody thought, oh, did he have a slip? What did that mean? The problem now is he is not the same person he was in 2016. He is unhinged. He is more diminished than he was.
So, guys, that's Nikki Haley in 2024. And I'm saying she hadn't served in President Trump's administration. You see what I'm saying? So whenever you think about in 2028, those Republicans, depending on how President Trump's administration goes, what you guys think? You know what I'm saying? Like about him, the situation with Iran, that could go really left. In my opinion, I think President Trump is going to get out of there before it will go really left. I think he's staying in there longer than I would say he needed to stay in there. I think it's definitely affecting him politically. I don't care what no numbers anyone is showing him. It might not be affecting him with Republicans politically. It might not be affecting him right now, but him fighting that war in general, if he stays there, it will affect him politically 10,000%. I'm factual about that. So a lot of this, in my opinion, the success of a candidate who has a name like Nikki Haley, who was successful running against the man Donald Trump, to run against the party MAGA Donald Trump, the party Donald Trump, not the man Donald Trump, to run against the party Donald Trump in 2028. You see what I'm saying? She is a Republican name, a Republican face, the first woman in the Republican Party to ever win a primary contest. She won Vermont and DC. So I'm saying her being on the ballot in 2028, if America, or I should say, if the Republican Party, depending on how much of the Republican Party wants to move away from MAGA or President Trump, I think that'll be a large lane of voters that she will have by herself. Not saying that the majority of the voters want to move away from President Trump. That is a fantasy. That will not happen. That Trump brand will have a chokehold on the Republican Party still in 2028. So, in my opinion, a MAGA candidate will emerge. But the question is, how long? Because those MAGA candidates will be fighting over President Trump's votes. I hope I made that make sense to you guys. About 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to get down in the comments in just a second. I think Nikki Haley's 2028 campaign, what it's going to sound and look like, in my opinion, this is what Nikki Haley's 2028 campaign will sound and look like. And I'll play a little audio for you guys. You know what I'm saying? We're going to listen to this whole video. It's only 3 minutes, so y'all excuse me for about 3 minutes. I'm going to play it. You know what I'm saying? I think this gives you a good example or a good vision into what, you know what I'm saying, her campaign will look like. Like when I get in the comments, if y'all talking about JD or y'all talking about Marco or even Ron DeSantis, like I'll jump down there and talk to y'all about that. But I'm saying me doing a live stream about them, I think that is the MAGA vote. So one of those candidates will have to consolidate the MAGA vote. I could see if it was just Nikki Haley or someone who wasn't connected or tied to President Trump's administration or someone President Trump wouldn't endorse. I could see it was just them running against Marco or running against DeSantis or running against J.D. Vance. But that's not what it's going to be. It's going to be all of those candidates together fighting cannibalism of each other, killing each other for President Trump's vote versus a Nikki Haley who's going to be getting voters who don't have anything to do with MAGA or President Trump and want to move away from MAGA and President Trump. Nikki's going to get all those voters. So this is probably, this is a good example, in my opinion, of how Nikki Haley's presidency or her campaign, will sound in 2028.
The Republican politician Nikki Haley has launched her campaign to be a candidate in the 2024 US presidential election. Let's have a listen. Our moment is now. Our mission is clear. Let's save our country and secure our future, and let's move forward together toward our destiny in a strong and proud America. Let's remind ourselves who Nikki Haley is. She's an Indian-American politician and a big name in the Republican Party. In 2010, aged 39, she became the youngest governor in the US in the state of South Carolina. In 2015, after a racist mass murder in Charleston, she ordered a Confederate flag to be removed from State House grounds. She first opposed Donald Trump's run for president in 2016, but after he won, she resigned as governor to become his United Nations ambassador. She resigned from that in 2018. She originally said she wouldn't challenge Trump if he ran in 2024. Now she's become the first person to put up her own nomination. Earlier, I spoke to our correspondent Anthony Zerka. He's in South Carolina.
The message that Nikki Haley had in her event today, which is the first event of her new campaign, was one of generational change. She criticized the tired old policies and faces of past generations and positioned herself, she's 51 years old, as a contrast implicitly with Donald Trump and explicitly with Joe Biden. She also touted her strength.
So that's what I'm saying. So she's using that same methodology in 2028, saying that what she's going to bring is something different than what President Trump brought. You got to think about it. Nikki Haley running against President Trump in 2024 after the Democrats were trying to convict President Trump, after, you see what I'm saying, President Trump's going around saying the Democrats stole the election from him. You see what I'm saying? Running after the voters. Remember Joe Biden, who had high prices, President Trump had low prices. I'm saying running against that Trump at that time, it was almost impossible for her to win that primary. But I'm saying if she uses that same message and she running against a President Trump who just become president, who might have fought some wars that were not popular, who might have done some things that were not popular, running against that President Trump, who's not even on the ballot. With the message that I just played for you guys there, that might work a whole, and I know in 2028, that's going to play really well with the voters. She's talking about generational change within the Republican Party. I'm saying we could talk about JD and JD, what he represents. I think JD, in my opinion, just because of the financial backing that's behind JD Vance right now, just because some factions, and we'll talk about that in a second, of the Republican Party support JD. I think JD, the entire electorate is going to move to the left. The entire electorate is moving to the left. That means the Republican Party too. I think Ron DeSantis is way too conservative. I think Marco will even be too conservative, and that sounds crazy. I really believe that. On a general election against the Democrats, I think you need a very centrist Republican that is not connected to MAGA to be able to have a second term in a row of a Republican in 2028. That's just what I believe. Let's keep playing this. Listen, this is what I'm saying. If you look at President Trump, his name on the ballot, which his name is not. But if you look at the Democrats flipping 26 seats since President Trump was elected, and the Republicans not flipping one seat, if you look from that lens or perspective, you would say that running a Republican that is not President Trump or not affiliated or connected to President Trump would be very profitable for the Republicans. I mean, there's no way you cannot say that. Because I'm saying if you're running against President Trump and you looking at what the Democrats have done against the Republicans throughout all of the special elections up until this point, you have to say within your mind that the Republicans would want to have an option that is outside of President Trump to be able to run against what's happening. Because if we running against Trump right now, the Democrats flip 26 seats. What happens in this midterms when the Democrats come through and they crush everything? And y'all don't like, so the Republicans to have an option outside of President Trump, this is an option you have out of President Trump. I'm going to replace some of what she said. Okay? This is, look, guys, this is Nikki Haley in 2024. She's still a Republican. She's still a conservative. She's just going to execute securing the border different than President Trump would. She's going to execute the ICE policies as a Republican, just different than President Trump. She's going to execute his ideas differently than him. He had a lot of good ideas. We cannot hate on that. One thing about President Trump, he pointed out problems that Democrats weren't willing and wanting to point out. He had ideas, but the execution. What I'm saying, Nikki Haley offers something that J.D. Vance does not offer, even regardless of how far he tries to move away from President Trump, and that'll be tricky for him because he needs President Trump's voters. Regardless of how far he tries to move away from President Trump or Marco or however, I'm saying they're still going to be tied to President Trump. It's going to depend on his success. Here's a candidate who will not be, though, Nikki Haley.
Future, and let's move forward together toward our destiny in a strong and proud America.
Let's remind ourselves who Nikki Haley is. She's an Indian-American politician and a big name in the Republican Party. In 2010, aged 39, she became the youngest governor in the U.S. in the state of South Carolina. In 2015, after a racist mass murder in Charleston, she ordered a Confederate flag to be removed from State House grounds. She first opposed Donald Trump's run for president in 2016, but after he won, she resigned as governor to become his United Nations ambassador. She resigned from that in 2018. She originally said she wouldn't challenge Trump if he ran in 2024. Now she's become the first person to put up her own nominations. Earlier, I spoke to our correspondent Anthony Zerka. He's in South Carolina.
Message that Nikki Haley had in her event today, which is the first event of her new campaign, was one of generational change. She criticized the tired old policies and faces of past generations and positioned herself, she's 51 years old, as a contrast implicitly with Donald Trump and explicitly with Joe Biden. She also touted her strengths as a governor here in South Carolina for 6 years, her accomplishments in bringing businesses to South Carolina, as well as her experience in foreign policy as a U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. She talked about how she was tough on China and she was tough on Iran, and she actually had an introductory speaker was Otto Warmbier's mother, the American who was released from North Korea and died shortly thereafter. The mom was effusive in her praise.
So yeah, man, like that's Nikki Haley, man. That's what I think, man. You know what I'm saying? For 2028, you know what I'm saying? I want to say to watch out for her. You know, like it's way too early to make any type of short predictions or anything like that. But I do think that J.D. Vance will be like within the finalists, definitely. I think JD, and in my opinion, I think JD and Nikki will be the top two, the last two standing for the Republican Party in 2028. I really do. With the Democrats, I think it'll be a lot harder for me to predict that right now. But I think JD will probably win the nomination due to the way the party will be headed. He will run sort of away from President Trump, but still highlighting the financial success of the Trump administration, because I believe JD will run on affordability in 2028. I think he will be a lot more focused on the economy than President Trump was and is. And I really believe that. I believe JD is a libertarian. Like I said, I believe the entire electorate will move to the left. You see what I'm saying? So I believe all the Republicans standing in the right, on the far right, and the Republicans standing towards the, I would say, a little more moderate conservative, like the pink or the light red, likely Republicans. I think the electorate going to move past them, and it's gonna stop somewhere towards where the center Republicans are. And I wouldn't say that JD is a center Republican. I would say he is conservative. However, he's young, so he represents that youth of the Republican Party. He's a libertarian. I think JD wants to focus on economic issues. I don't believe that JD supports the war against Iran. I believe he's truly American first, like a Tucker Carlson or like a Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I think he's their pick. He'll get them more enthusiastic about, I think that you got the Turning Point USA, a major wing of the Republican Party. Of course, they're not what Charlie Kirk was. They've already endorsed JD. So he's got the donors raising money. You have Elon Musk, a big part, like that. JD is their pick. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of the libertarian wing, or where I would say, you got to understand, JD isn't just a vice president, or he's going to carry on President Trump's MAGA legacy. Because I think that there would be people who within MAGA who would definitely choose Marco. Marco, I think he would. You see what I'm saying? From what I've seen, Marco's more ready for the position. But JD represents the future of where the Republican Party is going to go. They're trying to move the Republican Party to a libertarian type situation party. You know what I'm saying? They want to focus more on the money. I think if JD was president, Elon would have like a permanent position in his cabinet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think JD and them going to fight that war where they spending $1 billion a day. I think JD Vance, he'll be focused, the policies for the Republican Party, he's going to focus completely on the money and completely on the economy. And I think that's the difference with JD Vance and the other Republican candidates. And that's why I think JD Vance will definitely be a focus. And I think he'll win the nomination over Nikki Haley. But I think it'll be him and Nikki. That's just my opinion. Guys, if y'all haven't liked the video, double tap the screen for me, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit the notification bell. Somebody says $4 a gallon for gas and WPB right now. Where's WPB? Guys, I know the price of gas did raise. It went higher. That is factual. So I'm up here in the Hudson Valley in New York. So I'm 30 miles north of New York City, okay? So prior to any bullets being fired, any guns going off, prior to any war, the price of gas up here in the Hudson Valley was $2.77. I explicitly remember. That's the price of the cheaper gas, okay? The price of the cheaper gas in Hudson Valley, New York was $2.77. Now, after the war started, same gas station, the price of gas got up to $2.47. So it went to $3.47. So that means that it raised nearly 70 cents in a matter of 2 weeks. I sat there and watched it. So it's at $2.77 after the war starts. It's like $2.90 something, and little by little it gets up to $3.47. Now, after President Trump and those nations, they released those hundreds hundreds of millions of gallons of petrol, of oil from the reserve stock. I did notice for about 3 or 4 days, the price of gas remained here in the Hudson Valley, 30 miles north of New York City, $3.47 a gallon. So the price remained $3.47 a gallon for like 2 days, maybe 3 days. But this morning, I noticed gas has jumped again by like 22 cents. So the price of gas now in the Hudson Valley is $3.69. So whatever President Trump and them had going on with the price of gasoline, I'm saying it's getting worse. It's not getting better, it's getting worse. Gasoline, the cost of goods, there's no way that could work in President Trump's favor. Guys, y'all give me just a second. I'll be right back. Good morning, Green Gordon. If you guys haven't liked the video, double tap the screen, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, guys. We talking about the price of gasoline. I'll be right back to read you guys' comments in just a second. Yes, indeed, guys. Definitely seen the increase in the price of gasoline. What I'll do right now, let's look it up and see what the price of gasoline is, because I'm saying I've seen an increase in the price of gasoline over the last 24 hours. I put gas in my car yesterday or the day before. I paid attention to how much gas costs. And at the time, gas costs $3.47. This morning, it was $3.69. So the price of gas has raised about 22 cents overnight. So it's still getting more, it's still going higher. Actually, it's up to about 90 cents. The price of gasoline is up to about 96 more expensive than it was before the war started. About 90 cents more. And we'll look at, and I'll show you guys right here. So we're going to look at the price of gasoline. The current average for regular is $3.65. A month ago, it was $2.99. So they're saying it's up 65 cents. But I'm saying, like, I know it's up more than that. I could tell you that 1,000% from where I'm at, where I was. I don't know about a national average. This says New York average gas prices. Let's look at a national average. Because you know what I'm saying? If they're saying New York, you know the price of living, it's like looking up the California price of gas. It's a little bit higher. You know what I'm saying? So price of gas national. So the national price per gallon is $3.71. It's up nearly 80 cents from a month ago. Gas is up 80 cents. So gas isn't up 60-something cents no more. It's up 80 cents. It's still going higher. I don't see how you could say that that is okay for President Trump politically. In a climate where I just don't think the political effects of President Trump waging this war has shown their head yet. I think the political effects or the political backlash is yet to come. But there's no way in the world you can be a serious analyst. I don't care who you work for, whether you work for a legacy media or for a company, and you can say that President Trump, from this war, from these actions against Iran, that he doesn't face an astronomical political consequence. Of course, the people around President Trump in his mind saying he's not going to be in Iran for 6 months, so I'm going to be here a few more weeks and I'm gone. And I understand that. And so from that perspective, looking at it like he's not finna fight a forever war, looking at it like he's going to be there for a few weeks and he's going to be gone, looking at it from that standpoint, you could say that, hey, yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he's not going to face a drastic political consequence. But if he was like saying that this is going to be a war that he's fighting and he's going to do A, B, C, and D regardless of the political cost or regardless of any cost to America, yeah, that'll destroy him politically. Green Gordon says Putin will overlook ally Iran being bombed because Russia is an oil economy. Progress is impossible when there's profit in the status quo. We won't see conversion to solar into oil is worthless. Look, Green Gordon, that's what I'm saying. Progress is impossible as long as it's progress, as long as as long as there's profit in the quo. Not only is it profit in the status quo, I'm saying to keep things the same politically in America, it's a lot more than profit involved in that. You look at the rich people, and I'm always going to go back to this because I think the way our economics are, the way our tax system is set up, it helps breed corruption. Because I'm saying, like, you're giving breaks, or you're allowing men who have too much money and who are too wealthy to continue to get wealthy and to continue to spread their dominance over ordinary, regular people. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I believe in corporate slavery. I think that a lot of people are slaves to their jobs, to their corporations. I don't believe that the way our tax system is set up in America, I don't believe that it leads us to ever breaking out of this situation that we're in. And so I think fundamentally changing the tax system is the first steps of us making a real difference or change in America. So it's important, the politician that you're voting for, if you're voting for a politician who supports giving tax breaks to wealthy people, if you're voting for politicians who support cutting TANF and cutting Medicaid, and they don't have anything to offer to help the people, if you support that, then you are supporting keeping the status quo the same. Any policies that you should support should be breaking the status quo. What's the status quo? That a few rich people, a few rich families control the entire 340 million people system. Just a few. We're talking less than 1,000 people are controlling the entire whole. That's the status quo. If you want to break the status quo, you start by taxing the rich. That's who's holding the status quo, is the rich people. That's why we can't break nothing. That's why you have a candidate, Donald Trump, who says he's going to release the Epstein files and he's not going to start no new wars. But once he becomes president, he's being controlled. That office, it don't matter who the man is. It could be Donald Trump, George Bush, Ronald Reagan. It don't matter. That office is controlled by those few families. So I never understand the people down here on the bottom who's trying to explain to me why we should allow those few families to continue to get tax breaks. Because those few families is the problem. Those few families is on the Epstein list. Those few families are the Epstein list. The Epstein list is the problem in America. There's no poor people on the Epstein list. It's a billionaire list. The billionaire is the problem. Listen, there's people who are millionaires who's corrupt and who's greedy, But I don't think the millionaire list is the problem. It's the billionaire list. That's the problem. We need to tax the rich. We need to change our tax code. We need to stop let billionaire and their children get away with murder, commit corporate greed. We need to stop giving all of our tax dollars to the billionaires. I'm saying these people are making money off of our tax dollars. We are taking our money is going to fund and profit the people on the top. The way the richest people in the world, the majority of them start and operate and run their business. How much? Let's look up how much money does Amazon receive from the federal government every year. How much money, how many government contracts, how much money does, and I don't know the answer to this, I'm just looking this up. How much money does Amazon receive from the government, from the U.S. government every year? Every year. Let's see if Amazon get any money from the government. This is just a regular search, guys. They've received over $11.6 billion in state and local subsidies since 2000 from the government. You give me $11.6 billion and I guarantee you I could create something Jeff Bezos did too. That's not the tax breaks. That's not the tax cuts that President Trump gave him. That's actual money, $11.6 billion in subsidies. And you talk about Elon, and then I'm not hating. I'm talking about all these billionaires. That's how they get money from the government. They're taking our money to get richer. And they're keeping the profits that they're making off of our money. You give Jeff Bezos $11.6 billion. He go create $500 billion in wealth that he keeps for himself. Saying the majority of the wealth he's creating, he's keeping for himself, but he's keeping a lot of that money he's making off of the taxpayer dollars. Corporate slavery. We working to get for those rich people to get richer, keep their own money, and to throw some crumbs down there. They trying to get tax breaks in the meantime. President Trump giving them a tax break. It don't make no sense. So when I read a comment, somebody talking about breaking the status quo, the way we break that status quo is first we need to change our tax system. Changing that tax system, I think it goes across the whole board. It's that whole Bernie Sanders mentality. It's that whole AOC mentality. It's that mentality of it's a few rich people, a few families that's controlling the whole system. That's why you will get a President Trump, a candidate Donald Trump, 47, candidate 47 Donald J. Trump, who might sincerely means that he don't want to start any wars like he did in his first term. He might sincerely means that he want to release Epstein files. He might sincerely mean this stuff. But then you got an assassination attempt and he become president and it's like it doesn't change. Draining the swamp, firing all the government people, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't change because you got the same few rich families who still are holding the strings over the entire system. It makes no sense. Somebody say I'm for a flat tax, everybody pay 10%. I'm not for that. This is what I'm for. I'm for a corporate tax rate. We gonna tax the rich. We got a billionaire tax. We taxing 75% over $2 billion. If your business make over $2 billion a year, you owe the government 75% of it. You don't, that's all you need. We talking about in profits. If you done made $2 billion in profits, that's all you need. Real talk. That power corrupts. Ain't no one man deserve all this power. You don't need one person, one family to be that powerful. I'm not talking no redistribution of wealth, because if you try to redistribute the wealth, or if you try to redo the system, in the end, Elon gonna still come out on top. Jeff Bezos gonna be out on top. Bill Gates, the people who made it there, those are the people who got the best, most talent, the best talent in order to create the wealth. I understand that. But what I'm saying is yet and still, over $2 billion. You don't need to let a man, what he need $1 trillion for. That's how you get an Epstein list. He don't need that much money. That's how you get, listen, somebody who got $1 trillion, everybody he come in contact with is going to be trying to get favor from him. The president wants favor from the trillionaire. All of the political people wants favor from the trillionaire. Tell me how I'm lying. The guy has $250 million is like $250 to him. I might not have it in my pocket, but I could get my hands on it easily. It's nothing. 250 million, that's not even 1 billion. He got hundreds of billions. Listen to me. $250 million is not even 1 billion. He got hundreds of billions. That's too much money. As long that's how you maintain the status quo. You could get, look, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, those same families, and you add a couple of more families, the Bezoses, the Muskets, you add a couple of families, less than 1,000 people, they are calling the shots and they're controlling the entire system. And then you want to give them a tax break. I don't understand. It makes no sense. When you give them that tax, listen, this ain't nothing against President Trump. Because this is a Republican, supposed to be support Republican live stream. When you give them a tax break, the same people who are getting over, the same families who are controlling the whole system, when you give them a tax break, to me, it's like you signing or you co-signing that corruption or maintaining the status quo. You can't come in here saying that you changing the system, you draining the swamp, and you giving the rich people who are controlling the system a tax break. You giving them basically money you got from the poor people. Like when President Trump passed that tax cut, we should have known the wars was coming right behind it. Especially whenever he changed the name, the Department of War, he gave that money to all the money spent on the military. Say he rebuilding the military. What he rebuilding it for? Yeah, because he won't go out there around. You say, am I for or against Trump? I'm not against President Trump. You see what I'm saying? I like President Trump personally. I'm not a Republican, so I don't know how much for President Trump you could say. To me, it's not for or against President Trump. It's for or against America. That's what it's for. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the topic is whatever you guys want to talk about down below in the chat. You know what I'm saying? We've been talking about the status quo and corporate greed and the rich people and everything like that. Everybody did get, Angelo, listen, everybody did get more money on their taxes. But what he was talking about, he wasn't talking about getting more money on your taxes. What Green Gordon was talking about, he was talking about corporate greed, the corporate greed in America, maintaining the status quo, how President Trump, Angelo, said he wasn't going to fight any new wars, how he said he was going to release the Epstein list, how he said he was going to do all these things that he wasn't able to do once he became president. Because the presidency, the office of the presidency, regardless of who holds it, is controlled by a few families in America, a few rich men. America has oligarchs. Just like there's oligarchs in Russia, we have oligarchs in America. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we were talking about, Angelo. You said, what I would vote for Marco Rubio over any Democratic candidate. I can't necessarily say that. You know what I'm saying? Would you say, would I support Marco? I believe Marco would be a really good president. That's just what I believe. You know what I'm saying? I believe you would get, like, it'd be different than a Trump administration. That's what I believe. But I think that Marco would be a really good president. Y'all, let me turn so I could get this sound. You know what I'm saying? I could get a better angle. Angelo, I think Marco would be a good president. It depends on who the Democrats nominate. And it depends on what policies they're running on. You guys are looking to vote for a candidate for a party. I'm not looking to vote for a candidate for a party. I'm looking to vote for a candidate off the policies. I could tell by that candidate's policies whether or not they can affect real change in America. And Angelo, that's what I was saying. The only way you can affect change in America, you got to do something with those rich people at the top, because those rich people at the top is who control and who dictate our system. So I'm saying if you coming in giving those rich people at the top tax breaks, then that lets me know you're not affecting real change in America. Even if you want to change something, you're going to maintain the status quo, because that's the status quo, is to take care of the rich people. And that's what I'm saying, man. To me, it's not about Republican or Democrat. It's about America. I think Marco he'll have some great policies. I really believe that. I believe if you into money, I think J.D. Vance will have a great economy. I don't think J.D. Vance supports that war whatsoever. That's what I believe. I believe how Tucker Carlson, how Marjorie Taylor Greene, and how that faction of MAGA or the Republican Party, America First, feels they don't support America fighting those wars. And I think J.D. Vance is not for that war. And I don't care how in MAGA, y'all Trump enthusiasts might look at JD like, oh, well, he's not really MAGA. I'm saying that's going to play well with the electorate. JD Vance is like us knowing him not coming out and vocalizing, but behind the scenes, we know JD not for that war. We know that. Behind the scenes, we are aware that JD Vance, Angelo, is not for that war. Yeah, I would say that Newsom, Kamala, and AOC are the top Democratic candidates. I agree with that. I think Kamala and Newsom are going to fight for that establishment vote. And I think AOC, if she runs the right campaign, I think AOC will be the nominee for the Democrats. That's why I did the stream on it. You see what I'm saying? I think if she runs the right campaign, she's going to do with the Democrats what President Trump did with MAGA. You know what I'm saying? Those progressives, they gonna be coming. I'm telling y'all gonna see progressives come out in 2028 like y'all never seen that before. You guys will see the progressives come out in 2028, and they're gonna try to capture the Democratic Party. I promise y'all that. That's coming. You said, well, I take Rubio over any one of those three. I can't tell you that, though, Angelo. I really can't tell you that. I don't know what kind of policies Rubio's going to run on. You see what I'm saying? If Marco supports fighting wars against Iran, like extended wars, then nah, I ain't going to support him. And I don't think much of the American people going to support him. If Marco supports giving tax breaks to rich people, billionaires, then nah, who gonna support that? That's what I'm saying, Angelo. It's not about a party with me. It's about the policies. You see what I'm saying? It's certain policies. Angelo, I support giving tax breaks to people, but people who create jobs, not just billionaires or not just rich people. Because I'm saying, Angelo, if you look at the jobs numbers, President Trump's job numbers, this is what I'm saying, Angelo. This is what I want you to get you to see. This is what I want to get you to see. When March, so let's look at the jobs report. Let's look at the last jobs report that we got, okay? That we came out with. Last jobs report. Let's look at it, Angelo. Now, Angelo, this is what I'm saying. President Trump, y'all believe that if you give a tax cut, it creates to the people who create the jobs, then it'll trickle down and they'll create jobs. So what I'm saying, Angelo, we should be booming. The America's economy should be booming in jobs right now. I'm saying it's going on a year since the big, beautiful bill. Everybody get $2,000 back in tax breaks and tax cuts. But what's the jobs report in February looking at? Non-farm payrolls minus 92,000 jobs, minus 92,000 jobs. The unemployment rate is now 4.4%. It upticked. It's up. Unemployment rate is up from January. You lost jobs, Angelo. 92,000 jobs in a month of February. And I'm saying, Angelo, it's been long enough since you passed them tax breaks to where those people you saying creating jobs, they should be creating jobs because you gave them tax breaks. So I'm saying, if you don't create no jobs tomorrow, say what they got those tax breaks in July, this summer, then the big, beautiful bill. So it's going to take time to implement it. I'm saying you passed the time to like you into March. You halfway through March, you going into April. It's been almost a year since the big, beautiful bill, and you lose almost 100,000 jobs in a month, bro. That big, beautiful bill is not creating no jobs. You did give tax. You could have gave those tax breaks, the no tax on tips, the no tax on overtime, and the no tax on Social Security, and $2,000 extra per child. You could have gave all those tax breaks to the middle class without giving rich people not one tax break. Because those rich people, the tax breaks you gave to the rich people, I guess he was dependent on tariff money, but you had to give all the tariff money that you collected back. So those tax breaks you gave on the rich people, and you gave tariff money that you was dependent on back. And you ain't create no jobs. That's an epic failure. Angelo, I'm going to just be real. That ain't got nothing to do with no party. AOC ain't gonna be talking about taxing, cutting no Medicaid or no Medicaid. She's not gonna be talking about cutting no food stamps and giving a rich man a tax break. That's how you maintain the status quo, by doing crazy stuff like that. By taking money from poor people, taking money from people like who don't have that. Angelo, you might be doing great. Angelo, you might be got 100 racks in the bank, 200 racks in the bank, making like, you know what I'm saying, 300,000 a year. Got your nice house, your girl, your wife, you finna have some babies here in a few years. You could be doing great. But I'm saying you could even be doing better than that, because regardless of how good you doing, someone isn't doing as good. And regardless of how good you doing, those 1,000 billionaires I keep talking about, they doing way more great, fabulous than you. That's what I'm saying. If I just won the lottery for $200 billion, imagine you coming up to me and saying, hey, Ghost, I think I'm going to take $30,000 from this Angelo family, and I'm going to come give you $30,000 I took from Angelo. Because you got $200 billion, so you need more money. That's what we believe in as Republicans. We gonna create jobs by giving a rich man all these businesses tax cuts, and the only thing that happened is they shed more jobs than you. It does not work. Trickle down economics does not work. President Trump does it better than I've seen the last few presidents since Ronald Reagan. But still, in all, overall, I'm saying trickle down economics, it doesn't work. That's what I'm saying, though, Angelo. You filthy. Hey, listen, Democrats prioritizing illegals. You think AOC will do that? I don't think AOC gonna run her campaign on that. That's what I'm saying. I think the Democrats saw the error of their ways with a President Biden administration when it comes to immigration. And I'm saying the right answer for a Democrat on immigration is comprehensive reform. That's all if you're a Democrat, you just need to be pushing for comprehensive immigration reform, period. That's it. It ain't nothing wrong with Democrats want to increase migration into the United States if that's what their platform is. They just need to control it and do it legally. And that you ain't going to have no problems after that. Control it and do it legally. AOC is outside of the establishment. So if you want and you believe in change in America, and for the Democrats, AOC is outside of that. I don't know who you find for the Republicans who's outside of that, because we did the live stream about Nikki Haley, but Nikki Haley isn't outside of the establishment. Excuse me, she's within the establishment. President Trump was outside of the establishment, but he has become the establishment. So I don't think there's no MAGA candidates who can run as outside of the establishment or change candidates. But what I'm saying for the Democrats, AOC will definitely be able to do that as a progressive. I think she's the wild card that y'all need to watch for. Definitely. That is true, Angelo. All the riches need is God, peace, and health. That's true. A whole lot of America's wealth is from the labor of illegals. You see what I'm saying? Because the majority of it, I'm saying, you think about the people who own the Dollar General. What you think? What you think the average Dollar General make? They make a lot of money, right? And I'm saying they paying. It might not have necessarily illegals, but they paying their employees little to nothing. The employees who working for little to nothing, I guarantee you, they working for a rich man. The less you paying your employees, the richer that man probably is. That's my argument. You see what I'm saying? The less he paying his employees, the richer he probably is. So that's the way I see it, man. Money don't make you great. And I'm not saying that money makes you great whatsoever. I don't believe that at all. But still in all, like, there's no way in the world you're going to tell me that you're going to have billionaires and you're going to allow a billionaire to get tax breaks while you taxing rich people. I mean, while you taxing poor people. You taking money from poor people to give a rich man a tax break. That don't make no sense, man. So what Democrat is allergic to common sense, Angelo? Name the Democrat that's allergic to common sense. You putting on a whole party that the whole party don't have no common sense. And then, Angelo, the chances of a Democrat never winning a presidential election again is slim to none. That's not logical. That's not logical to think that, Angelo, because a Republican only won one popular vote out of how many elections, Angelo, in 20 years? 2024 is the first popular vote you won since what? 2004. The last time before 2024, the last two, every 4 years, Republicans, the last time since 2005, it's 2026. So that's over 20 years. So since 2005, the Republicans won the popular vote one time, and that was in 2024. Angelo, that got his chest poked all the way out to the moon. Angelo just been poked out to the moon since the Republicans won the popular vote in 2024. But Angelo, that's the first time y'all won it since 2005, my boy. That's what I'm saying. And I mean, really, some could say you got lucky because, you know what I'm saying, inflation happened under President Biden. If inflation happened under President Trump, President Biden would have got reelected. It's just the inflation happened in 2022 instead of in 2019 or 2020. Inflation happened in 2022 after COVID. So President Biden wore the cost for inflation happening in 2022. So I'm saying that your policies got to change because the American people can see that you have been preaching, giving a tax cut to these rich people. You gave these rich people a tax cut, and the only thing that happened is more jobs got cut. How many jobs have been lost since President Trump has become president? According to what Angelo's saying, not one job has been lost. I've never looked this up. How many jobs have been lost since President Trump became president? Been lost since January 2025. How many jobs been lost since January 2025? What you say, Angelo? How many jobs you say been lost since January 2025 in America? Since January of 2025, the U.S. economy has experienced a period of high volatility and overall stagnation in employment. While some sectors grew, others saw significant cuts, leading to a net gain of only 215,000 jobs. Net gain. 2025 full year revised data shows the economy added only 181,000 jobs. That's a sharp drop to 1.46 million added in 2024. I gotta post this in the chat for Angelo, because he ain't gonna believe this. Joe Biden was the worst president in U.S. history, but he added 1.2 million more jobs than President Trump. 1 year versus 1 year. Angelo ain't gonna believe this. I gotta put this in the chat for my boy Angelo. Angelo, you check out them stats. 2025 full year revised data shows the economy added only 181,000 jobs for the entire year, a sharp drop from the 1.46 million added in 2024. How about that, Angelo? What they got that? Angelo, hold on a second. I see that donation. Angelo. But this is what I want to do right now, man. I should have done this before I even started the live stream. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'll get 14 y'all see them Jordans pinned on the stream, you know what I'm saying? Angelo, you could go ahead and buy them Jordans, bro. I get 14.3% commission out them Jordans. I should have done it when I started the stream. You know what I'm saying? Start trying to advertise products. Angelo, thank you for the donation. He said, if you still voting Democrat, your credibility is no good. You do not care for American people if you still vote them. Angelo, I have to tend to disagree with you. I feel like in 2026, if you still voting by party affiliation, then your credibility is no good with the American people. That's what I feel. I feel like in 2026, we should be past party affiliation and we should be voting for the candidate that best serves the people, not the candidate that best serves the Republican Party. Thank you for the donation, Angelo. Green Gordon Politics says, you're correct. Trump is giving fake numbers too. Yeah, all the politicians give fake numbers. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. All of them do. All of the politicians give fake numbers. Angelo, I have to pin that Miller Legal LLC because I want the people to see the full year revised data. Y'all tell me how those numbers I just pinned are fake. You see what I'm saying? How President Trump 2025, you know what I'm saying? They saying that, you know, they only added 181,000 jobs. And Joe Biden's such a bad president, but he added 1.46 million jobs in 2024. that trickle down economic stuff don't work, man. I'm trying to tell you, Angelo, I know you young, my boy. You just now getting in politics. And you hopped in the Republican Party. And like I said, I like the Republican Party. Angelo, you know I like Marco Rubio. You know I like JD. You see what I'm saying? There's Republicans that I like. It's a bunch of Republicans that I like. I did a live stream on Nikki Haley this morning. You see what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying, regardless about how many Republicans I like or don't like, I'm going to rock with the facts. And the facts of the matter is, like, point blank, period, guys, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, there ain't no love lost with politicians that cater to the richest people in America, because that's the status quo, and that's why things won't change. It's because of those filthy rich people who control everything. That's why things can't get better. That's why things are the same regardless of what president get elected, Republican or Democrat. You guys change the status quo. You got to go after those vultures that are sitting on top of our government. That's how I feel, Angelo, and it don't matter what party you in. Angelo said he voted for Al Gore and Obama twice. The 4 years of Biden administration turned me into a Republican. Hey, but still in all, even though that might be the case, Angelo, what I'm saying is President Trump is created a million. Listen, when Jasmine Crockett said President Trump lost 1 million jobs, what she was saying is that the American government was adding over 1 million jobs per year to the U.S. economy. When President Trump became president, it only added less than 200,000 jobs. That means over 1 million jobs that America was adding to the economy. Once President Trump became president, those jobs went away. That's 1 million less jobs that people would be having today if Joe Biden would have remained president. That's what those numbers mean. So I'm not no Democrat. I'm not advocating for Democrats. I'm not saying President Trump is better than President Biden or President Biden is better than President. I don't care nothing about no party. All I'm saying is those policies in which you're going to give a rich man a tax break, Angelo, thinking that he's going to create jobs, it does not work. You see what I'm saying? So if you want to give $2,000 extra on the taxes for the people's kids, Joe Biden did that too. He gave more than that, but I ain't trying to compare, but I'm for that. If you want to give no tax on tips, overtime, or Social Security, I'm for that. I'm for all of that. Angelo, that's what I'm saying. But when you coming at me saying you're going to take money from Social Security and Medicaid just to give the money to, nah, man, that don't make no sense. Why would you do that? I don't see no profit in you doing it. I'm gonna take the money from Medicaid and Medicare to give the money to this person or to this thing. I'm saying, in my opinion, the whole problem, and I said this with maintaining the status quo, is because of a bunch of rich people or people who got money. So if you're going to give a tax break, the very last person you should want to give a tax break to is a bunch of people who got money. You see what I'm saying? That's the whole point. That's the whole point. That's how you break the status quo. That's how you break that thing that they got going on. And that's what we've been saying, Angelo. That's what the argument's about. Yeah, Trump haters getting more money on their tax returns just like Biden haters got more money. It's a lot of girls that I know from Mississippi, white girls that get food stamps that voted for Donald Trump. But when Joe Biden was president, they got that extra money back on their taxes from having kids, or they got that COVID. That, like, I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, Angelo? I feel that. I'm just saying the real problem with why things won't change in America is because there are a few rich families that control everything in this country. And so if you don't get after or address or anything with those few rich families that control everything in this country, you won't get any changes. There won't be any changes. That's the way you change stuff. But that's the way you change the status quo. Those few rich people who control everything in our country. Bro, if the government gave me $1 billion, I'm saying, why would the government have to give Jeff Bezos $11 billion? If they give me $1 billion, they gave him $11 billion, you know he gonna be worth 300, 400 billion. If they gave me $1 billion, I think I could be worth $200 billion. How could you not? You got wealth that much money, you could create money with that money. They give you 11 billion. I'm saying if you let the money sit, imagine how much you're going to make off the interest of the money just sitting in the bank. You get 11 billion out just the interest off of 1 billion. You see what I'm saying? In a year, that's going to be millions, tens of millions of dollars. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys, man. You know, like, I don't know, man. Like, that's what I'm trying. Like, they take our money, they give it to the rich man, so the rich man could go do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G with a business. They take our money to give it to the rich man, and the rich man go get so much more richer. I'm saying it's the status quo, and it's the same rich people who are controlling this system. So I'm saying you can vote Republican or D if you want the system to change, if you need something to change. Angelo might not be looking for nothing to change. She might be happy voting Republican. You know what I'm saying? Some people are that content or that happy with their party, the Republican Party, or that happy with their party, the Democratic Party. But what I'll say is the majority of Americans, man, they're ready for things to be different. You know what I'm saying? The majority of Americans are ready for change, man. That's why I think that's why President Trump got a lot of voters that he got. You know what I'm saying? They were ready for something different. Name the company that employs millions and the poor. I don't know about no company that employs millions. I know companies that got hundreds of thousands of employees. You see what I'm saying? You said that employs millions and they're poor. Like, what's that got to do with anything? Name me 5 BMW. That ain't got the price to do. Look, you can employ millions of people and not be poor. So what you need a tax break for? If you don't get a tax break, you're going to still employ millions of people and not be poor. I'm saying, what's that got to do with anything? So you employ millions of people, so I'm going to give you a tax break so you won't employ no more people. The reward for you employing, if you employ millions of people, you a billionaire, a multi-billionaire. If you employ millions of people, you a multi-billionaire. So if you employ millions of people, let me give you a tax break so you can get more billions. That don't make no sense. What you need a tax, the excuse for giving them a tax break is because it creates jobs. It's not creating no jobs. The excuse for giving the rich man a tax break is because he's going to create jobs. He's not creating jobs. He's actually cutting jobs with the money. You gave him a tax break because he employed millions. He don't employ millions no more. After you gave him a tax break, he employed 999,000. He cutting jobs. He didn't cut people since you gave him the tax break. It don't make no sense. I could give police officers a raise with that tax break. I could give teachers a raise with that tax break. I could build some roads with that tax break. I could feed homeless people with that tax break. There's a lot of things to help this country that I could do with that money besides giving it to Jeff Bezos, who already worth $300 million, who don't need no more money. He got more money than he needs. That's how y'all get the Epstein list. I know I didn't say 300 million. I mean 300 billion. That's how y'all get the Epstein files. By giving a bunch of men more money than he need and trying to stop somebody with common sense from telling you, hey, they behind the scenes doing all kind of unrighteousness and ungodliness. Because, Angelo, if you a Christian, you know that money corrupts. You know that money ain't no good for nobody. Why would you support a man having that much money? Because he created jobs. That don't make no sense. And you a Christian Republican and you supporting the Epstein list because he creates jobs. What? Okay, create some more jobs, idiot. I'm not giving you a tax break. You already got enough money to go get an Epstein list going. You feel me? You got to have hundreds of millions to do an Epstein list. So you already got enough money to go get an Epstein list going. A lot of them going to be smarter than Jeffrey, so they going to be over there molesting children, and we ain't going to be able to find out about it or hear about it. They molesting children. We don't know nothing about it. He got way more than enough money for an Epstein list. That's what I'm saying. Y'all got to make this make some sense, man. Y'all got to... What's up, David? David says they have roads that take 1 ton of rainwater without degrading the roads in Europe on the side streets without potholes. The American road systems are a joke and are a job. And I agree with that. There's so much things we could do with the $1 trillion that you gave in tax breaks to Jeff Bezos and them so they can maintain the status quo, so we can continue to hire Epstein lists, so we could continue to fight $1 trillion purposeless wars. That's all we doing, maintaining the status quo, so we could keep our $38 trillion debt. That ain't nothing against President Trump. I'm saying moving forward, I don't believe that in American history, we should believe in giving tax breaks to the rich. It does not create jobs. President Trump's administration is showing you guys that right now, giving a tax break to wealthy people, what job is it creating? Where's the jobs at? You mean the 1.2 million jobs that Joe Biden created? So, you know what I'm saying, President Trump was going to create 1.8 million jobs. You see what I'm saying? Because, you know, the Democrats, they don't believe in giving tax breaks to the people who create all the jobs, the rich people. So the Republicans do, though. So if we created 1.4 million jobs in 2025, when all the rich people weren't getting the extra tax breaks, I know when President Trump come in here and he set an American record for the largest amount that he could tax people for taxes for rich people, when he set this record, giving them a record-breaking tax cut, I just know in 2025, we're going to have 1.4 million jobs created in 2024. We're going to have 1.8 million in 2025. Now it goes, chill out a little bit, calm down. See, President Trump just took over, so you can't go by the numbers in 2025. You got to go by the numbers in 2026. Because, see, the big, beautiful bill, it passed in the summer of 2025, so those tax cuts don't really kick in until, so let's look at the numbers for, okay, so 2026, we're looking at February, you shed 92,000 jobs. If that's an omen for how the year going to go, in February, you shed 92,000 jobs in February. So I'm saying, man, the way that year gonna go, man, it just don't look like it's gonna go good. Green Gordon says, I have to pay extra taxes now, Angelo, to build drones and defenses for a likely war against your no wars president. Yeah, a likely war against your president who said there was, Angelo, I know you remember that. When President Trump was running for the White House, he said, I'm the president that it ain't have no wars in 4 years. He ran on that. He stood on that. No wars in 4 years. I'm the peace president. You can't be the peace president and fixing problems militarily. I'm saying if you're going to be the fixer, be the fixer. You can't be the peace president and the fixer. You can't get a Nobel Peace Prize and be the fixer. He going to be mad at the Europeans again next year because he ain't getting no Nobel Peace Prize again. You can't go start a war in Iran just talking about being a fixer of a problem. They ain't going to give you no Nobel Peace Prize. They're going to find another Maria Machado. They're going to find another one of them to get a prize to. They ain't going to give it to you if you start wars. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, please speak Russian. Nah, man, that'll never happen as long as I live. Not as long as I live. Oh, you might could get my dead body to speak Russian. Hey, as long as I got breath in my lungs, I'll never say one word in Russian. Unless it's an insult to you to get you to leave me alone. David Smiley, what's up, baby? Say, yeah, I'm good on being like some Princess Palpatine stuff from Star Wars, trying to fix everything. Just saying. I mean, like, you know, that, I mean, there's a cost to trying to fix every problem. You can't fix every problem in the world, man, especially not in 4 years. So I'm saying, knowing that President Trump, what he's trying to do is saying that he gonna go around fixing all kind of problems, knowing that that's what his goal or his ambitions or what he's trying to do is, man, I'm saying, like, I don't know. I don't see how you can think that in the end, this situation will turn out a whole lot of positive. You know what I'm saying? I don't see how you could see that, or you could think that, or you could believe that there's a whole lot of positivity going to come out of that. You see what I'm saying? You're going to Cuba next. Cuba might be like Venezuela. It might not be that bad. You know what I'm saying? But Iran, I hope you ain't got no more Irans on your list to fix, because I don't know if we could take too much more of this, man. I'm talking about gas went from $3.77 to $2.77 to $3.69, and it did that in less than a month. Less than a month. 92 cents. I don't care what they're saying on any news. The gas went from $2.77 to $3.69 up here in Hudson Valley, Metro New York. 92 cents in less than a month. You need conversations and negotiations to be a no-war president. That's what I'm saying. You need conversations and negotiations. I agree with that. Not trying to push President Trump to be like Barack or nothing like that. That's not what I'm saying. Not trying to compare him to Barack, because I know that might be a sore spot for a lot of MAGA people, a lot of Republicans, but I'm saying that's the move he needs to make right now. I'm sure he'll get a better deal than what Barack Obama got. You know what I'm saying? The Iranians might be publicly saying that they don't want to talk, but if you stop dropping bombs, I'm sure they're going to talk. And I'm sure after the bombs that you did drop, spending those billions of dollars, you'll get a better deal than President Obama got. You just can't say in your mind, oh, they not ready to I mean, you hadn't tried diplomacy enough. You hadn't talked enough. You need to do more talking and less bomb dropping. You see what I'm saying? And then, like, they really don't halfway trust Americans, so America's going to have to get a third party to come broker this deal. It's going to have to. Because I'm saying when America was trying to broker a deal between Iran and Israel, yeah, you the middle party, but now you dropping bombs on us too. So you're going to need like China or somebody like that to come broker this deal. The UAE, I don't know if you could use them. They've been shooting missiles and drones at, like, I don't know. You're going to need a third party, Turkey. You're going to need somebody to come broker some kind of deal. That's what I believe, man. And I believe diplomacy is the way. The cost of war is too expensive. You charging Americans 92 cents a gallon to drop them bombs on Iran. That's what you charging us. Because I'm saying the price of oil went up. Let's look at the price of oil, y'all. We had 1 minute and 50 seconds. What the price of oil looking like? I got plenty of lawsuits to do, though. I got to start a new one today. Price of oil. Price of oil. $95.21. It's up $2.75. Oil jumps 4% as doubts linger over U.S.-backed plan to protect Strait of Hormuz. That's CNBC. There's an oil price scenario that will bring the U.S. economy to a standstill. That's Fortune. CNN, U.S. gas prices surged to their highest since October 2023. With those kind of headlines, I don't see how anybody with any kind of brain saying that's not going to hurt President Trump politically during a time where I don't care what no polls say. That's killing him politically. You just trying to look for a clock of how many days he's got to stay stuck on this situation for it to make a difference in the midterms or in an election, or for it to actually make a difference in the poll. How many days he got to get stuck on this situation? There's no way in the world you could tell me any politician will come into the White House and any politician will have there's an extra charge of 92 cents or $1 per gallon of gas in less than a month. That's so harmful for that politician politically. That'll kill him politically. It'll destroy him or assassinate him. And that's just facts. Politically destroy him. Destruction. Somebody say 258 to 399 in South Florida, bro. That's political destruction. It's just a matter of time for it to show face. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's no way in the world that you're going to get price of gas to go up that high and you're going to say that politician is going to be okay after that. Smoking crack. Somebody smoking that good crack. They smoking that good crack, y'all. You know what I'm saying, guys? We've been streaming for 1 hour and 52 minutes. I appreciate the donations. Most of you guys don't know, but if y'all are members of the channel, man, I went live this morning. I don't know what was wrong with me. I just had some things to come kick it, some things to come say, man. So I went live this morning at like 3:46, but I made the stream available to members only. You know what I'm saying? 3:46 a.m. And I came on a live stream and kicked it for about 2 hours to almost 5 a.m. You know what I'm saying? And then I jumped off and then I'm back live again. So really, it's been 4 hours I've been streaming today. You know what I'm saying? I did 2 hours. Then I took a little hour and a half break, took me a nap. And then I come back on streaming again. I got some legal documents to work on, you know what I'm saying? Working on this new case and everything. Plus, I got some old stuff going on. So, you know what I'm saying? Just got to get these documents in court, got to get them filed and everything. You know what I'm saying? With the quickness, man, it's a big case too. You know what I'm saying? So I got to get that started. Got some things to take care of, but I usually start working on that after I eat lunch at 11. So we got a couple of hours before lunch, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I've been streaming for a minute this morning. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm already at 4 hours right now, you know what I'm saying? So the plan is to stay on stream for probably about 30 minutes or so more. But, I'm going to go ahead and take my break right now. If any of you guys want to donate to the channel, y'all hit the button with the $ in it, man. We could stay on stream for 2 more hours. You know what I'm saying? If you guys want to. But if not, guys, you know what I'm saying? It's about that time, man. We've been streaming for about 2 hours. Usually do those 3-hour live streams. You know what I'm saying? I try to get in about 12 hours, being live for about 12 hours a week. You know what I'm saying? So, guys, I think on yesterday I streamed for about 3.5 hours. You know what I'm saying? So between yesterday and today, I've already streamed for about 7.5 hours. You know what I'm saying? And you got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Because I streamed on Sunday too. So if you count Sunday, really, you know what I'm saying? I done streamed for about 10 hours. You know what I'm saying? Still got 4 days left. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys want to donate to the channel, man, whatever y'all want to talk about, y'all keep putting y'all comments down in the live stream. Man, you know what I'm saying? This riding with Ghost Rider, man, I'm not even to episode 70. You know, if I'm trying to get to 100 episodes of riding with Ghost Rider, you know what I'm saying? Like the We the People, I did 100 episodes of that. I probably did 100 episodes or close to 100 episodes before We the People even started. You know what I'm saying? So 100 episodes around with Ghost Rider will be about 300 or slightly over 300 episodes. You know what I'm saying? Live streams since I started doing the political content with Legal Wars Live in like September of 2024. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to me to want to complete, these, 30 something, which is about a month. You say why I say that, because the Tax the Rich tour, the outdoor live streams, I'm gonna start it in April, but I'm not gonna start it in April the 1st. I'll probably start it, somewhere close to the middle to the end of April, so I could get these last 30 or so live streams of riding or cruising with Ghost Rider done, because I really want to get them done from right here in the car. You know what I'm saying? So people hate on me all the time. You know what I'm saying? I don't care, man. I'm going to do these last cruising with Ghost Riders from in the car. You know what I'm saying? That's some memories that I'm going to carry with me at this point that I was in my life, what I was going through. And then once I get these cruising with Ghost Riders out the way, you know what I'm saying? Then we'll get to the Tax the Rich tour, and we back outdoors looking for beautiful sceneries. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wow. I almost bumped the man door. Man, it's real windy out here, so the phone will be jumping. But this is what I would do, man. You know what I'm saying? I go to a place like this out here in the Hudson Valley. You know what I'm saying? And I come out here, and I just bring y'all content. If I could get somewhere where you guys can see it. You know what I'm saying? Just beautiful, gorgeous sceneries, man. You know what I'm saying? Legal Wars Live, baby. Y'all enjoy the scenery, man. Y'all discuss the politics, man. Prepare for the Tax the Rich tour, man, and I'll be right back with y'all. Hey, it's Big Ghost Rider. He said he want to see some trees blown. You feel me? He want to see some trees blowing. He looking at branches. You can't get no branches to blow on, boy. Hey, I promise you, bro. Like, I ain't even got a promise, bro. Every location I said I've been to, I've been. The way I said I was gonna live, I'm living. You know what I'm saying? Everything I said I was gonna do, I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, for the people who playing house or who live in house or living their lives, I mean, congratulations to them. I tell them like this: more life. You know what I'm saying? More life. That's what I said on a live stream this morning. More life to you. Whatever you got going on in your life and your world, you know I'm not checking on you. That might be hurting your feelings. That might be what's bothering you, because they checking on what I'm doing. I'm not checking on none of y'all. Not one of y'all am I checking on what you doing. Not one of y'all people speaking on my name am I checking on what you doing. So more life to you. You know what I'm saying? Listen, the people that I text, like I got a homeboy in Mississippi, I be hitting them up, a couple of them. I got a homeboy in Houston, I be hitting them up. For the people that I involve in, like, you know what I'm saying, I reach out to or I share the information with, when I start recording the content, I got a list of people that, you know what I'm saying, I share the content with them first, people I rock with. For those people, you know what I'm saying, like, if they speaking on something I'm doing, like, I'm putting them in it. But I'm still not checking my homies. I'm not checking on what they doing for no reason, ever. Never do I check on one of my homies and what they doing. I never check on what they doing. Never. You feel that? So for people who checking on what I'm doing, just know that you checking on me. More life, man. Whatever's going on in your life, if you happy and everything going on in your life, more life to you. I'm saying people that I've known for over 25 years, when I went back to Mississippi and some time since then, like, I hit them up. I know you my whole life, that's what that is. If I call you my friend, I'll hit you up. I bumped into him, hit him up. More life. I mean, real talk, I'm going to just be real with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't check on nobody, bro. Like, I'm living my own life, man. I'm checking on where the waterfall's at. That's what I'm checking on. You know what I'm saying? I'm checking on where the waterfall's at. That's what I'm checking on. I'm just being real with you. I'm not checking on like what somebody doing or anything like that. He said the toilet won't flush. Nah, I can't tell no wind speed. He said MAGA love to romanticize the 50 when I point out a 91% income tax. It kind of shuts them up. Yeah, I feel that, man. You know what I'm saying? 1950s income tax was the effect of 42% for top earners after common deductions. 42% for top earners. Effectively, 42%. I just believe that. Listen, the tax code that I will enact, when I say tax the rich, a billionaire tax, I believe in a cap on the wealth that a man will make. Listen, I'll look at it. So the say the top people in America, you know what I'm saying, they're making more than $5 billion a year. Say you got 20 people making more than $5 billion. And the wealth that all 20 could hit $5 billion, but any money over $5 billion to them combined is about $200 billion that the government can get. I want that $200 billion. Real talk. Listen, so once you make your $5 billion a year, you see what I'm saying? Really, I'll say once you make $3 billion a year, I'm going to tax you 75% of what you make over $3 billion a year. That money should be the government's money. Any man who makes over $3 billion a year, I'm going to tax you 75%. That's a billionaire tax alone. That tax bracket is only for people who make $1 billion or more a year. For people who make $1 million or more a year, I would have their tax it probably would be more like 40%. Anybody over 250 million, it'd be like 40%. I would allow a man to work hard to become a billionaire. You don't want to stop. You don't want to, because you're going to stop the billionaire class. You're going to stop people from becoming billionaires. So you want to get less of a tax from people, even if they make $600 million a year. I want to get less tax from him because I want him to make $1 billion. But once he gets to $1 billion, after $3 billion, bro, I want 80% of what you're getting after $3 billion. 90%. You do not need more than $3 billion a year. You guys do not understand how much money $3 billion. Look, the dudes that's already worth $100 billion, you get to keep your money when ghosts come to power. But if you make over $3 billion a year, the United States will accumulate great wealth, more wealth than President Trump is talking about with some tariffs that he got to give back anyway. And he enacted new tariffs and he got sued on them too. So he don't even know if he's going to be able to use any tariffs. That's what my point is. So you're trying to cut deficits. You need to raise revenue for the United States, but you didn't give rich people all these tax cuts and it's not creating no jobs. Hello. Oh, really? You trying to deport all the immigrants who work in all the low paying jobs. Oh, hello. It seemed like that would create a vacuum of jobs to be filled. And it would under normal circumstance because AI, whatever the reason is, President Trump has to be aware of this because he will be held responsible for this by the voters due to this and a host of whole other things come November. I think I gave a pretty reasonable and fair analysis of that. Trump's tariffs are slowing them down in California, and they don't talk about it much. Trump's tariffs, he got sued for the first round of tariffs and was ordered by the judge to return 180-some million or something like this. And the second round of tariffs that he enacted, he done been sued on them. So I don't know how it's going to end, but he been sued on another round of tariffs, the new tariffs that he just signed into law. Y'all dig that? MAGA smuggling networks. Force them checking into their own goods. Man, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But they probably are doing that. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't. Presently, after deductions, top earners in the U.S. could pay no tax some years, and I believe that. That's how President Trump ended up paying $700 in taxes one year, off of hundreds of millions of dollars that he reported he made. Hey, listen, so, look, there a girl, like, whenever I don't know if I was in high school or middle school, I don't know, one of them schools, upper elementary school, you know what I'm saying? I had a crush on her, you know what I'm saying? And she was sweet on me and stuff back then, but like she owned a liquor store, now she got some bread. She like a Trump supporter, you know what I'm saying? She don't like me that much, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened, but you know, I can understand I got people hating on me for various reasons, you know what I'm saying? Disguising it for whatever they want to disguise it for. Anyway, so like I walk inside her store, and so she looking at me, and she trying to tell a story, you know. Like, you know, I'm owning businesses, so I'm writing off stuff on my businesses, just like, you know what I'm saying. But she talking about people paying her taxes this year. Even though I got write-offs, I still got to pay taxes. You see what I'm saying? This the first year in my life on my business, I still got to pay taxes. I got to pay hundreds of dollars in taxes. It's only hundreds, though. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying, like, at this time, though, I'm just getting bread back. You know, I usually get about $2,000-3,000 back. I spend $8,000 or more in my business usually every single year. And that's before I started getting money from YouTube. See, that money I get in YouTube, like the promotions and stuff, it's a washer. I'll still get an extra $1,000 or $2,000. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying before that, I would spend money in businesses dropping thousands in them every year. I don't have to be promoting no. I'm saying, like, I'm doing documents, ghostwriting for somebody. I got to charge because I'm spending money. Like, I'm spending bread, like gas, miles, food, time. I'm saying I work thousands of hours a year in the Miller Rate Legal. Y'all need me to pin the hours a year, y'all, with a Miller Rate Legal. That's what I'm saying. So y'all just gotta think about that, you know, and I got some documents to prepare for somebody, you know, and it costs money. Everything I do with the business, it costs bread. I'm spending money in the business. But so I walk in her store, though, and she talking about paying taxes, how people don't pay taxes. See, I said, like, I'm getting $2,000 back on my taxes at this time, but I spent $4,000 on hotels, 4 racks, my dude, 4 racks, and I'm talking about in a 3-month period. That ain't got nothing to do with no UPS, bro. Every lawsuit I'm filing, I'm spending on the average between $75 and $300 at UPS on each lawsuit. And I'm talking about I'm dropping, ask my pops, I'm dropping lawsuits. The only lawsuits I ain't spending money on the ones I'm filing in Houston, in state and federal court. Everything else I'm spending bread. Still got to get the copies. I ain't got no printer. Sometimes I'm using a printer, but sometimes I'm not. Certification, bro, it's a lot going on, bro. You filing legal documents in court. You see what I'm saying? It's just like an attorney. You don't think an attorney got overhead. You see what I'm saying? So, like, I'm getting back, like, about 2,000 off of 8,000 I spent. Y'all know Legal Wars Live, bro. When the Texas tour, this was last year, from March, listen to me, from December 31st to like March 19th, I got a hotel room every night but 3 nights. That's like 90 days, over about 90 days, bro. I got a hotel room for 80-some nights. And that's in Legal Wars Live. You know I didn't make that much money off of doing this YouTube. You see, I didn't make that much money and that means much time. But I spent $7,000 on hotels. I could write that off. That's what everybody do. But anyway, that's another long story, bro. I got $2,000 back on my taxes. I was getting $2,000 back. I go in the store, this girl like that, you know what I'm saying, used to back in the day in upper elementary school, but now she like a Trump supporter. She hating on me, you know what I'm saying, talking about people paying her taxes. So I knew I had the card on her. You know, real quick, you know what I'm saying, off the draw in situations like this. I said, like, yeah, man. Like I said, so you know President Trump, man, they hating on President Trump. I said, man, you know I like President Trump, though. I said, didn't you vote for President Trump? I just could tell she did. She said, yeah, man, Trump something. She said, I said, well, President Trump, you need to tell your boy to pay his taxes. I said he made $450 million that year. How much he made that year? How many hundreds of millions he paid? $700 in taxes. You said you support paying your taxes. Tell your boy to pay his taxes. Couldn't say nothing. That's how I be doing them, bruh. Couldn't say nothing, bruh. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? They hate on me, bruh. Like, I don't even care, though. But yeah, man, like, I owned a business for a minute, man. Like, I had owned a little, ain't nothing to talk about. I ain't really never paid no taxes on it, but a Miller Legal, bro, yeah, 4 years. Real talk. You know what I'm saying, bro? Hot cases right now. I got 4 live, and I'm finna write one. And this one I finna write, I want 46 racks for it. Hey, I want 46,000 for it. Listen, I'm gonna write one document. One. You know, as a paralegal, I can't. There's no contingency fee. I gotta charge a flat rate, flat fee. Don't get no legal advice, none of that. I just prepare the document. One document, flat rate, flat fee. I want 46,000. Really, I want 40. I'll take 39,000. You know what I'm saying? But the situation, I had like, you know what I'm saying? I'm owed like $6,000. You know what I'm saying? So I'll take 40. At this right hand, I'll take 44,000. Listen, this document, because I worked on the case, I did some investigation on the case. This document that I'm finna deliver, bro, I'm talking about, look, if it's a business standing on the other side, it's equivalent to me reaching back and slapping the snot. Listen, how many of y'all seen that Blueface and what's the name of that Nebo, whoever dude he was fighting? And one of them had snot coming out his nose. I think he got punched. I think that was Blueface. Hey, listen, hey, the equivalent, this document, when it gets served to this business, it's going to be the equivalent of knocking the snot out them people's nose, boy, on everything I love, bro. I'm talking about all the way dirty guilty. Listen, that's why I do file lawsuits. You see what I'm saying? You talk and I sue. And you say something else and I'm going to sue again. And you say something else and you're going to get sued again. And they say something else to me, y'all, and I sue them again. And we've been doing this and I sued them again. For I don't know how long, but then I sued them again. And then, guys, 4 years, and I sued him again. Y'all get what I'm saying? Because I sued him again. All the way up, guys, I sued him again to 28 lawsuits, and I'm finna sue him again. it's finna be 29. Yeah, I'm finna ghostwrite my 4th case. In my 4-year career, I only had 4 ghostwrite cases. I had more customers than that, but I only had 4 cases I ghostwrote. I used to do business promotion. A Miller Ray Legal, LLC. I used to do business promotion, you know what I'm saying? But like I went from business promotion to where I do cases. On everything, listen, I wrote $2 million cases. I'll put this on everything. One of them I was tweaking. It's like the second time I wrote a lawsuit, I was so mad at the business, I wrote it for $1 million and got paid off of it. I didn't get paid $25,000, but I still got paid something off of it. You wasn't no million. It wasn't 25,000. You feel me? But I'm saying, you feel me? But I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was so mad at him, I just wrote it that high. But I'm saying I really legit wrote $1 million case, and I got paid thousands off of it. I should have got paid over 10 racks, though. Real talk. But I just let them slide. They paid me $7,500 less than what they should. I just let them slide with it. You know what I'm saying? It was my dude, and it was a big case, and he had got a bullet. He was a bullet still lodged in his chest. So he needed to get paid from that. Like, the way that situation went down with a minor shooting him, he got paid for it. It was a tricky case a little bit, but we got him a check for that. You know what I'm saying? You go in the store and shoot a dude, and you get paid for shooting him, even though he got, you know what I'm saying? Like, I done beat a dude up and got paid for it. You know what I'm saying? I'll pop you and get paid for it. For real, bro. That boy grimy with this. Bro, 9-2, I only lost 2 cases. One case I ghost wrote, I lost. It'll never happen again. I put that on everything. So, you know, if I'm coming at you with a case I'm finna ghostwrite, you know you stung already, boy. That's on everything. I put that on my mama. Even higher, boy. You stung already. Real talk, bro. I don't lose. I ain't losing nothing. I'll take everything. Look, and then, like, if I'm ghostwriting, I'm tossing to a lawyer. I don't never... Like, I don't litigate. I'm not supposed to litigate whole cases without attorney supervision. I'm a paralegal. I'm not a lawyer. Even though I could brag about the 28 cases and me litigating 26 cases, but I'm saying I'm not supposed to litigate cases without attorney supervision. So the only cases I could litigate are the pro se cases, those cases that are mine, that I'll litigate the whole case. I litigated so many cases before, but I really hate doing it. It's a lot of stuff going on within that case. A whole case. I'm a document preparer. So me preparing a legal document, a one-off, I'm going to come dump this one document. I want 46 racks from it. I'm going to drop the document and walk off. Don't litigate. Let the lawyer litigate. That's what the lawyers do. He getting 33-40% of the case anyway. You talking about $200,000-$300,000. That's what he finna make off this case in his pocket. $200,000-$300,000. So I'm saying, let him litigate. Let him do all that, everything he need to do. You know what I'm saying? And then it'd be easier for the client. You put a firm, you put a team of lawyers on that case. But I'm saying I'm finna dump it. And I want 46. I'll take 44. I'll take 44 racks. I want 44 racks. I'm finna show you how to get this bread, jump out the gym. That's like 5 cases, bro. I'm telling you, for me, that's over $1 million. Well, not for me. For me personally, that's over 300,000 on the table, bro. I'm coming, bro, at the end, by the end of 2025, y'all just stick with me. Your boy Ghostwriter gonna be eating good. I don't care nothing about, like, cause look, he's saying I'm showing him something like I'm faking. Like I got some AI green screen. That's how pretty those sceneries I'll be. But wait till I get to be moving, bro. Not too long. Let 30 days less and count. When you see 90 live streams for Riding with Ghostwriter, because I'm going to start doing promotions for Riding with Ghostwriter, because we finna end the Riding with Ghostwriter. We finna end the in the car live streams probably for good. Because I'm saying I'm going to be streaming outdoors and then I'm going to go indoors. So these live streams, these memories, and I'm going to cherish these. I don't care. It's an adventure for me. It was an adventure. I'm not romanticizing nothing. These people, my fans, they my fans, bro. Really. They trying to paint me as fans, but they really obsessed with me. You know what I'm saying? Girls talking about me still 10 years later, bro, from 2015. Let that go, baby girl. 2016. If I'm on here telling the story, I'm just illustrating the point. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna pick. Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't make me speak bad on your name, man. Just let all the foolishness go, man. That's how I feel, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let it go. Let it go. You feel me? I let it go. I let it go. Let it go. I'm saying, come on, man. You feel me? You feel me? Oh, weirdos. My boy said he lay at night contemplating the existence, bro. Listen, I lay at night sometimes. I contemplate the existence of mankind and humans. You see what I'm saying? I contemplate a lot of deep things, bro. I'm a deep thinker. I'm a real deep thinker, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's big facts. So, you know, I don't know, man. You know, it just depends on. It's not late wake at night because I get sleep, but I just sleep at different times. I just be up at nighttime all the time. Like, I be wide open. You know what I'm saying? At 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to be wide open. I just can't sleep at that time. I had that problem when I had a job. I work at 6 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But I get up probably about 2:30 or 3. But then it got bad when I started doing legal documents. I'll be pressed. Like, for instance, if I was like doing the I ain't doing mobile documents. So I'm working from a spot right now. I'm doing all my legal documents from a spot, just like if you had an office. It's just I'm not in there 40 hours a week. You know what I'm saying? I'm streaming about 10 to 15 hours, and then probably about 15 to 30 hours, depending. I'm working on legal documents. You know what I'm saying? The other week, I think I worked like 27 hours. You know what I'm saying? On the documents. I had 2 cases. I had the I amended a case. You know what I'm saying? That's the first case in like 8 cases I did that. And then I filed a new case, you know what I'm saying? And then like I started working on the case that, you know, I'm waiting on. And then I got a whole new case that I got to file for a client, trying to get that off so we could connect some things, connect some dots to go ahead and get that pushed off here in the next couple of days. So I got to work on that. But you know what I'm saying? I don't start till after 11. You know what I'm saying? But when I had like a mobile place, you know what I'm saying? When I was filing documents like in Tennessee mobile, I wouldn't even, this live stream, I wouldn't even did this live stream. You know what I'm saying? I just would have cut this day and I would have just streamed on Wednesday like I did last week. Because I would have been working on that lawsuit. And then this today, once I talk to the customer and I get that I could get those statement of the facts. You know what I'm saying? So I probably had that done on Friday. Before Friday. I'm talking about it was I have it for the customer to edit $46,000 document about 12 hours or less. I would have did them 12 hours straight. All I'll be waiting for the customer. Once the customer give me the information, type it, I email it to her, bro. And like she edited, so when she bring it back, it'll take me about an hour or 2 to get it ready for court. You need a certificate of service. And you don't, yeah, I'll probably do an affidavit for one one exhibit to start off with. Cutthroat, baby. Cutthroat. Listen, you let a lawyer walk into that situation, it's like 300 rays. He look at this, okay, a Miller Ray legal, what you did. He read that complaint and he see the evidence, see the angle. Bro, I'm talking about he could slay a dragon with that. That's $300,000. I done did that. Really, I did pretty much the majority of the case for him. The whole case, I filed a case. I gave him the evidence. I gave the angle. I exposed the business, liability, and the negligence. Bro, I'm telling you, bro, like 46,000, one document. That's what I want to do with my business. You see what I'm saying? This is the biggest. I'm finna do a document in 12 hours. The biggest document of my career that I have a 46, charging the customer 46,000. One document, 46,000. Hey, you say romanticize and you say hope, you say whatever you want to do, but that's facts. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I invest my time and my energy. A Miller Ray Legal LLC. They talking about girls. They can't come up with no girls for right now. You seeing drop dead gorgeous girls, 2 of them. They ain't from here. They probably from White Plains or the Bronx. But he just in 2 drops, and you can't distract me, get my attention. Saying a whole gang of other girls can't get my attention. None of that, bro. Listen, I want to appeal in the U.S. Court of Appeals. Y'all need me to get the link for that and post that too, boy. Look down in the link. The link is in the bio. It's down below in the chat. It's pinned to the chat. Click on that link, boy. That's my business, man. $46,000, 12 hours to do one document. $46,000. Bro, it's an $800,000 case. I laid it out for the attorney. He walk into a clean W. He make $200,000 or $300,000. I think he gonna get a settlement probably before discovery. If not, definitely after discovery, he getting a settlement. Clean $200,000-$300,000. I'm talking about from when I file it. This how efficient my business is. You give this attorney he'll milk that whole statute of limitations. He gonna take that case for that whole 2 years. From the day that client filed that case in that court, within 6 to 7 months, that client is gonna get a settlement. That quick. I'm talking about efficient. The business efficient. Not only is it winning, but it's efficient. You see what I'm saying? Attorneys getting paid, clients getting paid, business gotta pay, justice is served, Miller Ray Legal get paid, everybody happy. 46,000. Hey, listen. Hey, I got 4 cases. I got 3 cases that are eligible for me to get over 46,000. I'm not gonna get 46,000 and no settlement on no 3 of them cases. I'm gonna just tell you that. But look, I'll tell you this though. This case that I'm doing for this client, I am guaranteed, because I'm charging a flat rate fee. Last time for the dude I charged, I did this for a customer in Houston, where I did one document, his complaint, hooked him with the attorney. I did the contract with the attorney for 12 rates. You see what I'm saying? This case is much different. You see what I'm saying? You know, you say you charge 40,000, man, for one document. That's gonna take you 12 hours, bro. Even like, I might not charge 40, man. I might charge 30, but I'm telling you, bro, that's my business. You know what I'm saying? Listen, like I'm saying, bro, like, you know, I'm gonna buy a house and everything, but I'm saying, like, once I get past that point, like this 10 years from now, so my name even more known. I done got more cases. I got more wins, more goated, more everything. And then I'm saying, like, Yeah, for attorney, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if I find a customer, listen, I know it's another girl I grew up with, bro. She got a multi-million-dollar case. It's a wrongful death case, bro. And she doing lawyer right now, bro. Listen, I promise on everything, bro. I could hit girl up, and which I might do. I might hit girl up and say, bro, same thing I'm doing for this customer. It's an $800,000 case for this customer. Put that case in the court, connect them with an attorney, bam, 40 racks. Put that wrongful death case in the court, I'll connect you with an attorney. You out the gate in 7 months, you out the gate with a settlement with a great attorney. That attorney making hundreds of thousands, you getting hundreds of thousands, I'm getting my 30, 40 racks and I'm walking. But I'm telling you, if I could do 2 of them cases, that's what I'm on. That's a blessing. Like, I'm writing a $40,000 case. I don't care if I was going to get paid off the case before anyway or not. I'm doing the work to get paid off the case. I know I'm finna get paid off the case once it's in the court, it's getting served. That's a wrap. $40,000 case, bro. You see what I'm saying? That's a blessing for me. Yes, that's a blessing. I'm going to get a check off that case. From my homegirl, bro, like my little sister, if I could write that wrongful death case, you see what I'm saying? Shoot, that case would be millions. And like, I might do another 30, 40 racks for writing that lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? I can't get paid off contingency. I'll just write the bill. Flat fee. I'll give you time to pay me. But it's a flat fee, no contingency. You see what I'm saying? One document. You do 2 documents in a year, you get paid fully off them cases. Those are winning cases. I'm writing the case. That's 80 racks. An attorney litigating the case. All I'm doing is writing 2 cases, 80,000. That ain't got nothing to do with no cases that I'm litigating the whole case as a paralegal. That's not what I'm supposed to do as a paralegal. We talking legal wars, baby. This is legal wars. We always talking politics. Let's talk legal wars. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to do just put lawsuits, drop the lawsuits. Just drop a lawsuit in the court and walk off with 40 bands. Ain't nobody who you know doing work like, listen, who you know, you saying, like, you talk about dream. I know you ain't talking about no girl when you talking about dreaming. I did my girl dreams with a girl. I called a girl name for you earlier in the live stream. The girlfriend that Annette Introbus, bro, that's her name, bro. That's the girl that I love like that. Her and Teresa. But me and Teresa was tight like me and Annette. Me and Teresa probably was tighter at some points. But I'm saying I was closer to Annette than any girl I've probably been in my life. She taught me the most. Love her the most. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying ain't no girl, like even a dream scenario, like me being mature, dealing with a girl that I would love like that. Me being mature, I'm saying there ain't no dream scenario like what's down below. A Miller Legal LLC. I'm talking about doing 2 cases. Listen, take me 24 hours to do it. And make 80 racks in 24 hours. That ain't no dream. That ain't no romanticizing. That's real life facts. That's my business at work. I filed a lawsuit for a client. I've done it before. Mad successful. We won. The lawyer got paid. The client got paid. I got paid. I could prepare a document legally prepare a document for a client as a paralegal. She got a flat rate fee that I put down on paper and charge her and or the attorney. The last time I charged the attorney, I put it for the attorney because I could do the work under the supervision of an attorney. She already got the attorney. I'm dropping the document. And bro, I'm 9-2. So I'm pretty much arguing the case for the attorney. Because the first thing he gonna do when he gonna read what I put in court. That's the first thing everybody gonna do. The court, everybody gonna do. And I'm telling you, what I put in there is gonna be Pulitzer Prize. I am the ghost writer. I'm a writer, boy. I'm telling you, I'm gonna drop a bomb on them boys. I'm gonna drop it. If you a defense attorney for them, it's gonna make you want to cry when you read that complaint. Don't be the dude. You gonna start having a bad day. It's gonna be subconsciously. I'm gonna be in that boy subconscious. I'm gonna get in this soul, boy. Make you feel dirty and guilty. Not just guilty, make you feel grimy and guilty. All with facts and laws. Real talk, boy. I'm telling you, I'm the truth, boy. Listen, this like, man, what, like the 6th, 7th lawsuit? See, if it was like the first lawsuit I done wrote, I went 14 months without filing the case. But, bro, I've been writing law. I've been on it. There's iron and sharpening iron, and I'm sharp as a razor, too, really. I'm talking about I'm finna tear up in it. I can't start till after I eat lunch, though. I be all tired and full and stuff, relaxed, but I'll go in there, bro, and I lay the law down on you, boy. I'm telling you, I get that second case. That ain't no romanticizing. That ain't no fantasy. That's real life. That's what I'm on in this car. I'm saying I got my own case over here. I got my own case over there. I got my own case over here. And I got my own case over there. I got cases everywhere. I ain't talking about them cases. It just take time for them seeds to grow, man. It's money. It's gonna rain money around here sooner than later, bro. It just take a little time. It's all good, man. It's coming though. I'm talking about the seeds are planted. I'm saying I need one more case. My homegirl got the case. I don't know what's going on with her. I ain't talked about it. I know people try to hate it, stop it, block it. I don't care. I'm working on a $40-some thousand one for me. Cash payment, attorney, litigating. Bro, I'm straight on that. Bro, you could sit down for a minute, 40 racks. And an attorney litigating, it's like I'm getting a settlement off the case. I'm just doing, bro, it's going to take me, but, bro, I'm so proud of the document I'm going to prepare. It's going to be better than any attorney prepared a document in your court, bro, this whole year, bro. Everything I love. Hey, listen, I usually do it in a federal style, so I'll be showing off because I litigate in federal court. So I do like a federal formatting of a case in state court. You know what I'm saying? In a smaller state circuit court or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's like a district court similar. But I'm saying like in a civil, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying like, I ain't even trying to like, I'm going to do it in that state style. Real talk, man. I'm talking about like it's going to be the best document that they done found in that state this year. On the civil side, and definitely, you know, the criminal side, we be poo-pooing on the criminal side usually. On that civil side, bro, I'm a document prepared. That's what excites me is the preparation of the documents. People misconstrue me for that because I got a litigated case. So when I have to litigate the whole case, I'm not a lawyer. I don't want to do this. Don't misconstrue that because they think that I won't sue you 18 times. Not just to drop the document the initial time, because that's really what I'm a document prepared. You want me to prepare a motion for you? That's between $700 and $1,500. You want an expungement? That's going to be about $1,800. You need a contract? That's anywhere between $99 and $299. You see what I'm saying? I'm a document prepared. Like whenever you do a case, you doing document after document after document after document. Bro, like some cases, bro, you have 20,000 pages in that case. Like I'm not trying. How much money I'm going to get paid to do that? Oh, I'm going to get paid $200,000-$300,000? Yeah, I'll ride with you. $200,000-$300,000, y'all already know I'm at Bali. I'm talking about I done bought a house, everything. I Airbnb the house, and I'm getting straight on the jet, and I'm in Bali. All I'm gonna take 100,000. I put 100,000 on the house and stuff, 100,000 in the bank, and 100,000. I'm in Bali. I ain't taking no female. I'm going by myself. What you talking about with this computer? Cause I still got my homegirl. Cause I'm gonna hit my homegirl, and I'm finna try to get this $40,000. One document. I'ma drop it in court and make 40 racks. That's my hustle. You don't understand, bro. I'm finna be 46 years old. This all I need is this right here. This live stream is just me telling y'all this. That I get paid from YouTube, and I'm thankful and grateful for everything that y'all give me. You see what I'm saying? That little bit of money, it helps out. But I'm saying this live stream is this right here, bro. I'm telling you, Bali, boy. Real talk. I need them cases though. That's why I need them cases, but I never push it. I don't try to get no customers. I ain't no ambulance chaser. I don't try to, you know what I'm saying? I just be chilling. You know what I'm saying? And in the nature of the circumstance of one of this case, it came to me to where I have to do this case. I have to write this case at this time. Whether I was prepared to do it or not, it has to go in the court ASAP. And it can't just be rushed in there. It's got to be correct and the best document that's been filed in the state this whole year. To this point, I'm not playing about that. Yeah, it's a beautiful document. That's what I do. With the laws and everything, argue it like a lawyer, and I'm going to just drop it. Really, I could drop anything in there, a lawyer going behind me and picking it up. But I'm finna drop something in the court that's going to be better than the document he replaces it with. I swear. But I'm gonna give him his whole argument and everything without saying one word to him. 46,000. Without saying one word to him, 46 racks. It's gonna take me 12 hours to do it. When I do the editing, it take about 2 hours. So I bill you 15 hours, and I need 46,000. That's my business. I'm saying what? 46 years old. I can't play in the NBA. So you saying you a rapper? You got a rapper? What rapper? So, okay, I guess some rappers, they do 30 minutes and they get hundreds of thousands of dollars. But look at what the life they live and they go through. I ain't got to do none of that. Because, see, I could do my 12 hours. Excuse me. I could do my 12 hours for my 40,000 in France or Bali. I could do it from anywhere. I could go get a bungalow in Tahiti. You see what I'm saying? For a week, drop about 8, 9, 10 racks and just take my computer. All I need is internet. I could edit it with the customer and everything right there from Tahiti. 40 racks. That's the business model. And I'm saying I don't need like 1,000. I don't have a business. I don't have a business to where like I need a bunch of customers. Like I'm mass producing something. It's slow and methodic. You know what I'm saying? You get about a customer or two every year. And then year 5, he get like 5 or 6 or 7 customers a year. Skill set a lot better. Instead of writing $12,000 contracts, writing $40,000 contracts for that complaint. Write complaints. That's all I write. Year number 10, he getting about 15, 20 customers a year. Yeah, that's when it's popping. About 20 to 40,000 per document. And look, you see how much time it takes. Look, I had a whole, ask the people that know me, I had a whole document, and I get better and better, quick and efficient. Customer pay, lawyer pay. I'm talking about 8 months out the door. Everybody paid, happy and fat. A Miller Ray legal, baby. I'm telling you, that's what I focus. That's my future. Like I used to like promote DJs or whatever, like in my 30s. So they look at me and think about music or something like, that's what I'm saying. That wasn't my future. That's what I wasn't supposed to do. I want to travel and do these lawsuits mobily. Yeah, I got to buy a house. I got to settle down. But I'm saying that anytime I could just, hop in a Range Rover with that computer, bro, and like be in, you know what I'm talking about? Colorado, boy. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Be out in Colorado, boy. Colorado Springs with that computer and that Range Rover. You know what I'm talking about? Hitting them cases, hitting them leaks. I promise y'all everything. I'm $46,000 for a case. And I know a female, though, that's a friend of mine, at least 30 rats. And I'm saying, even if I wait on the payments, when I pass them to lawyers, those are guaranteed. And I'm saying, I'm documenting, like, how much you agreeing to pay me, so that's a guaranteed $76,000 in cases. It take me less than 30 hours to complete all the work. Guaranteed $76,000. Attorney's not making money like that. You figure that out an hour, bro, that's tens of thousands an hour. Just dropping the complaint. You know what I'm saying? You can't be writing no $10,000 complaints because they only gonna pay you $500. You see what I'm saying? You got to be writing $1 million complaints to do that as a paralegal. And all you need is that one document. And you getting paid $20,000 to $40,000 off of it. I'm serious. I wrote $1 million lawsuit. This finna be an $800,000. And if I do it for my homegirl, that'll be a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Yeah. That's all I need. And I don't need a bunch of customers. Just you do it for this person, word of mouth, do it for this person. That's how I was in Houston. Do it for this person. Because it's the legality of me. It's like I'm litigating. I'm not litigating the case, though. That's how I get safe. The attorney is going to litigate. So once the attorney get the case, any work I've done, I'll do the work underneath the attorney. And that's who's paying me off the case. And he could either pay me to work on the case for him, or he could pay me that flat fee that I took for the case. I prefer that flat fee because I got other cases on the side that I got to work that I'm trying to get some bread off of. I'm telling you, bro, I'm going to come through some money. I'm going to punch through some money. Anybody talking, they talking. They talking and I'm suing. They talking and I'm working. They talking and I'm working. They talking and I'm working. A Miller Ray Legal LLC. That's 2 hours and 54 minutes. I gave y'all 3 hours, and then I did 2 hours on the members content earlier. So that's 5 hours streaming today. And I'm finna go start on that $800,000 case, boy. Y'all, this how I get down. This how I live my life, how I chose to live my life until I get stable and solid, bro. This is what it is. I have no problems with it. It ain't got nothing to do with hope. I'm doing work that pays. I'm doing work that pays. You hear what I'm saying? I'm doing work that pays. So I'm finna get paid off the work that I'm finna do. I'm doing work that pays. You let other people tell the story. Let me tell the story. Let me get the pen and the mic and the pad. Let ghostwriters start narrating the story in the court. I promise you, I do work that. Ask about me. Regardless of all the mistakes, I'm litigating whole cases with attorneys, bro. And I'm not an attorney. I'm a paralegal. I'm supposed to do one document. The attorney come back and he corrected everything. All I'm doing is filing the case and getting down 46 rates. Supposed to come out of his money, not the client's money, because he getting a few $100,000. So he grabbing 40%. So my money's supposed to be a bill that he has, 46,000. That's the fee he has for the case. I did the case. So he come through and he litigate after I file it. I guarantee you, bro, this case I filed, he might get a settlement as soon as he appear on the case. Motion to appear, he getting a phone call. They don't want to go to court with what I'm finna put in the case. I'm rat-a-tat-tatted on that forehead, boy. So look, any of y'all scallywags, nah, I'm just playing. Y'all females, y'all ain't got my name in y'all mouth. Y'all don't know Ghostwriter, the document prepared. Yeah, some girls in Houston do, but I ain't never really bumped them or met them like talking about for real. I never kicked it with them. So if you know me right now and you don't know me as the document prepared ghostwriter, then you don't really know me. Because I'm talking about the all the way, like all I do is file documents. That's what I'm out here doing. Somebody saying you in your car, what am I doing? It all pertains to me filing legal documents, all of it. It all pertains to me filing legal documents, every last bit of it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. That tort act is an emergency fund process before the final claims. Yes, indeed. Guys, if y'all hadn't liked the video, this is the time to do it. Subscribe to the channel. Notification bell, the donations. I appreciate them today, man. You know what I'm saying, guys? Today is, like, I don't know what day it is. I really don't, though. I got somebody in one of these cases. Look, I was in my emails, man. We got live action, bro. I got live cases, baby. Real talk, though. You know what I'm saying? They serving people around here, man. We got cases popping off. I got a filer case. I got a case over here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The action's starting to heat up. It's starting to heat up around here on these cases, man. You know what I'm saying, y'all? So we gonna go ahead and move towards our direction. I'll stay with y'all for a little bit, man. But real talk, though, man, like, I had filed a third case. I wasn't expecting to have to litigate in that case. You know what I'm saying? Until, let me see. I wasn't expecting to have to litigate in that case until the end of this month, you know? But something came up and I had to do that case too as well. Little ma'am got on flip-flops. As cold as it is, I hear she running across the street in flip-flops. But yeah, man, like, I got a case too, man, that I just seen that, you know what I'm saying, came alive down here. So I got to go ahead and get working on that case. And I told y'all about, I get excited about those cases I ghostwrite. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just doing one document and I'm backing off. You know what I'm saying? I got a case in the Southern District that I'm working on right now. You know what I'm saying? They've been served, so I got to litigate that case. You know what I'm saying? And it's like litigating the whole case, man. Like from start to finish, bro, it's some work. You know what I'm saying? You got to do discovery, interrogatories. It's all kind of things you got to do within that case. You know what I'm saying? You got to fight the defense. These dudes are attorneys. You see what I'm saying? They're from New York. Like really, probably New York City. You know what I'm saying? They litigate down here, out here. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the city. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's they kind of connected, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm not even from New York, you know, but, you know, I know the law and I got to argue the law, and I'm doing it against these attorneys who from here. You know, and they got law licenses. It's not dumb. It's just one of me. So they have all kinds of advantages, but I'm still 9-2 in those kind of situations because I'm really good at arguing my point, number one. And number two, they're wrong. So that's just what all it is to it. But yeah, I got a case too that's active in Mississippi as well. I got one in Connecticut. I'm waiting for it to open up. I got one in Illinois. And like I said, I'm working on a case for a client. So, you know what I'm saying? What I learned from my experiences is you can't win all these cases, but I definitely haven't lost them all. Hey, I win 4 times as many as I lose, you know what I'm saying? So I just got to work through them and, you know, do the things that I got to do. I wish, like I said, that I could just, you know, I don't say I wish, I say I'm working on, you know what I'm saying, achieving my goals. Like I said, this is the 4th customer that I'm ghostwriting the case for. And my business had writing cases until August or September of 2022. That's when I filed my first case. So September, October, November, December. 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. So September of 2026 would be year number 4. So I'm saying right now in March, we're not to September yet. This is the 4th customer or person that I ghostwrited for. 4th case I ghostwrited. So I'm saying even without my homegirl's case, because if I get that case, that'd be 5. Even without her case, it's safe to say that I'm ghostwriting 1 case a year. The last time I ghostwrote a case, I got, like I said, the payment was supposed to be $12,000 for it. I got a pretty good bit, you know what I'm saying, about 5 racks or so. So this time it's $40,000. And if I do it from my homegirl, it's going to be $30,000 or $40,000. So that's what I'm saying. If I'm ghostwriting on average a case per year, that's with no advertisement, no nothing. Well, doing advertisement, but mainly for the YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? But ghostwrite 1 case a year really off of word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? If I could do that right now, you know, consistently, that's what I've done. So I could say I rely on that. You know, I imagine after 5 years, I need to start doing 2 cases per year. You know? And if I'm getting that 20 to 40,000 per case, I mean, I really don't need too many cases myself. For my personal self, like that would be just extra money. You know, I could ghostwrite, literally ghostwrite 3 cases per year and make $100,000 and work maybe 30 hours. Work 30 hours, make $100,000. You know, people don't even know what I'm doing. Imagine if you ghostwrite 1 case a month. That's what I'm trying to do in year 10. A case a month, you making hundreds of thousands. I'm saying people getting AI and stuff. With AI, you're going to have a lawyer to litigate the whole case. But I'm saying those little legal jobs, people are going to look because they're going to look to do it themselves because of AI. AI is going to provide ways for people to do minor legal jobs without attorney. Does that make sense? So AI providing ways for people to do minor legal jobs without attorneys. People are going to look. What I'm saying is I believe that with my skill set, my business model and all of that, I believe I could compete with artificial intelligence. I really do. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm saying the people don't have the knowledge of the system that's using AI. I guess the AI, you can let it direct you. But I'm saying most people, they're going to want a human to interact with. You see what I'm saying? And if they're doing it without an attorney, who's used to being able to get legal documents filed without an attorney. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So y'all been with me this whole time. You know what I'm saying? I'm riding down these bumpy New York streets. Hey, I know y'all been with me the whole time, man, and I really appreciate the support. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Legal Wars Live, that's really what it was about. Ameliorated Legal LLC. But I just started, Donnie, y'all, I started talking about politics. You know what I'm saying? So I've been really talking about politics ever since. But a lot of what I do, or really all of what I do whenever I'm not on the camera, is legal documents. Or I'll be chilling, or you know what I'm saying, some kind of, it's everything's connected with the legal documents. You know? Like this business is my girlfriend. This business is my like focus, my future, my everything. Besides my God and my religion, my faith is in God to get me where I'm going. But I'm saying this business is my, you see what I'm saying? Like I'm worried about a girl, man. I'm worried about getting 40,000 for 12 hours of work, getting 40,000 a legal document. Like that's what I'm on, man. I'm trying to get 40 racks of legal document. You know what I'm saying? It's not trying to do it. It's like I'm finna do it. Like I'm doing it. I'm finna go work on one right now. That's gonna get filed in court. That's gonna get served. That's gonna get picked up by attorney that I'm gonna get 40 racks for. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm not trying to look for no DJ to get paid $500 or $1,000 a gig. I don't need no DJ. I don't need no girl. I don't need no hair. I don't need none of that. All I need is this right here, baby. That's all I need. I'm saying, y'all see how I do it. Lakes and lawsuits. I ain't got paid off them lawsuits. Well, I did get paid off for one of them lawsuits that I was filing in Michigan. I did that. We the People number 4 or 5, lifestyles and lawsuits. I got paid off of it. It was real small, but I didn't get paid to Connecticut. I'm saying, like, yeah, boy, yeah. Like, you see me with the cameras on and I'm doing legal documents, bro. Them real legal documents that I need some real checks for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see me going across America doing them, bro. Like I'm telling you, I'm giving you the vision, bro. In Bali. Cut the camera on for you. Work Big Ghost said 10 years. He in Bali. Talking about he suing somebody. They got sued again. Hey, hey, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it, man. You know what I'm saying? Every day I wake up, man. That's real talk, though. Every day I wake up, man, I be in a place of thanksgiving. The Bible say, come before the Lord in thanksgiving and give thy praise to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So I come before the Lord, man. I be thankful for everything I got, everything I'm trying to do and trying to achieve. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, what I'm doing is a rough business, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna argue with the attorney. This dude is an attorney for a city. You feel that? And I'm finna argue with this dude. I'm arguing with these dudes trying to get bread, saying that they owe me money, that the city did something wrong, unconstitutional, got unconstitutional policies. You see what I'm saying? So I'm arguing with you about this. I'm arguing with you over this. That's a rough business. It's a gamble to get paid, and then it take money on that gamble, and you might not get nothing for that work. That's why I'm saying, like, it's me, you talking about me, like, just doing documents. I don't like litigating cases. I don't want to take that gamble. Let the lawyer take those gambles, because those gambles are a lot better mitigated when attorneys are doing it, who got law licenses, who got connections within that court system, who got, where you, listen, I ain't even going to try to tell you guys, because I got paid off this case, but I talked to an attorney, and the attorney had talked to the judge. Look, so, you know, the attorney ain't supposed to talk to the judge with one party once the case is filed. So what the attorney do, the attorney talked to the judge before they even ever filed the case. You see what I'm saying? So the attorney talked to the judge, and the judge already pretty much give the attorney the green light. So the attorney finna come through with the case filed and everything, finna come through with the case. End up getting paid off the case. I'm saying you got all them kind of situations that you dealing with and that you going through and all that. you got all them kind of situations that you dealing with, that you going through, and all of that. You see what I'm saying? Whenever you trying to litigate it, I'm sorry, guys. Like whenever you trying to litigate a case, and I mean, it's a lot going on. And I'm saying, me personally, I would rather not. Just me personally, I would rather not. Litigation is, look, so whenever I file my complaint, when I do this complaint that I'm finna go work on, I file this complaint and then I drop it and then I walk off and it's over with. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying now, like, I'm finna respond to a defendant, like I'm finna have to, I already filed a complaint. You see what I'm saying? So now I'm finna have to respond to what they said, and they gonna give a response back. And because it's a federal case, in this case I'm really trying to protect it, I'm gonna respond to them again. So that's 3 legal documents before we go to discovery. We got to do the 26F conference. That's 4 legal documents. I'm telling you, I done litigated so many times in federal court. I could tell you this whole process. And then when you get in discovery, you got to request discovery from them, and they requesting discovery from you, even though it's not getting filed in the court. That's about 7 or 8 documents you didn't file before you even come to a place where they thinking about paying you, doing a settlement. You got to gather medical bills. You got to gather this. You got to gather that. That is a lot of work. That's over 120 hours easily to get through discovery in a case. Easily. Attorney, he probably going to bill you probably about 300 to 500 hours to get through discovery in the case. 300 to 500 hours. How many weeks of work is there? That's about 10 weeks of work. It'll probably be completed in 7 to 8 months' time. And he gonna bill you for about 10 weeks of work in that 8 months. 2.5 months of work. But I'm saying for me doing all that work, my settlement ain't gonna be nothing but about 15, 20 recs. See what I'm saying? So when I litigate a case, attorney, he might, if he get a big case, my cases ain't as big as the ones I ghostwrite. I ain't gonna ghostwrite a small case. So whenever I get a case and I gotta do 10 documents, make phone calls, take all this time, spend about a few hundred hours on the case, and I get $20,000. A few hundred hours, that's a lot of money, $20,000 for a few hundred hours. But what I'm saying, I could do 12 hours and walk away with 40 racks. 12 hours, no worries, knowing you got an 80 to 90% chance of winning the case with some good attorneys, because I know I could win this case. I know the law. All you got to do is just prepare right, do it by the court procedures. It's a gamble, but it's a win. In this situation, it's a win. 12 hours, walk away, hand it to an attorney. I done it before. Bam, you paid. I'm in Bali on the live stream with y'all cutting up, recording content. But when you litigating a case, I done already filed a document, not a lawyer coming back. He trying to get the case out. He trying to say what they doing is lawful. Nah, no, it ain't, boy. So I'm finna have to step on them. So I'm a document. And this time I'm not going, so I'm document for document with him. And I'm saying he in a law firm getting paid tens of thousands of dollars to do this. So he'll shoot 100 documents at you like it's nothing. They'll shoot 15,000 pages at you like it's nothing. They got the money, the time, the resources to do it. That's what they do. You talking about the lawyers, they got paralegals like me that work for them. They got paper pushers in there. I'm not trying to do none of it. That first, I'm a document preparer. I'm not a lawyer. I don't want to litigate no cases. I'm stuck doing it. Because I get paid a whole lot less money for doing it. It's a lot more riskier, number one. Number two, you get paid a lot less money. And number three, you do a lot more work to have to litigate. Let the lawyers litigate. They get paid a lot more money than I do. I'm only getting paid 10 to 20,000 per case that I win. That's it. I'm not trying to litigate. I want to prepare a document and walk off. Y'all, I'll be right back, y'all. right back. Yeah, boy, we back. Yeah, so how I do it, baby, I just chill out, man, till about lunchtime, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like whenever I start, so I feel like I split my day in two. So I'm going to start my day with you guys on a live stream, you know what I'm saying? This morning, I just did extra. So I streamed from like 3:45 to like, I don't know, 5:45. Well, no, from 3:30 to like, I guess about 5:30, about 2 hours. And then I come and do this live stream, you know what I'm saying? We about 3 hours and 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why I don't really care is because, you know what I'm saying, I ain't gonna eat lunch till about 11. You know what I'm saying? Then I eat lunch. After I eat lunch, I start on the documents. So, you know what I'm saying? After I eat lunch, I start on the documents. So I got, you know what I'm saying? I told you I got this document, this complaint for this customer I got to do. Then I got to respond to this, I got to do some litigation document. I got to respond to this, you know what I'm saying, this complaint or this reply from an attorney. So, you know what I'm saying, the next few days I'll probably be pretty busy, you know what I'm saying, on my documents. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. Probably the rest of this week. So, yeah, man, just putting in that work, trying to get that paper, man. I need that paper. Gotta have that bag. Gotta get that bag. Gotta get that paper. Forget what the haters say, man. You know what I'm saying? Does Jesus eat food? That's like, I don't know. I think you're trying to be smart. I don't know what that means. And does he provide food? Like, yes, there's plenty of scriptures to show that he provided food. Like I'm saying, I don't understand like what you're trying to say about that. I'm just saying I don't do too much joking and playing when it comes to God and Jesus, though. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of people, they do that God and Jesus jokes, and that because they don't really believe in God. I really believe in God. So I don't do too much joking and playing when it comes to God and Jesus. Not me. I'm just saying, I don't know what that means. He said Trump's making our wallets great again. I'm saying you gonna give President Trump that credit. I guess if so, if once the money get there, then yeah, I guess I'll give him some credit. You know what credit I really need? Y'all be talking about these cases. Talk about Big P Hegseth. I need P Hegseth. Hey, I got a military upgrade. I need approval from the military, man. Real talk. Hey, look, that's like 20-some thousand for school. That's my house right there. That's my I'm gonna get a VA loan, and then I'll get about $2,000 extra a month, like a supplement. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the percentage of disability I get from the military. Yeah, boy. I need that bad. Boy, you talking about your boy imagine like me getting a supplement from the government for $3,000 a month. And we just talked about how much the rich people get, so don't talk about me getting no supplement from the government. When I have a legitimate disability and I'm a veteran, I'm entitled to this. Number one. In case you want to say this ain't no entitlement, I'm a veteran who served this country during 9/11 with the disability. I didn't say I went overseas. I didn't say I went to Iraq and Afghanistan. I was enlisted during 9/11. Be clear, okay? Now, since you understand that, I'm saying like I get my supplements, and at the same time I file my lawsuits, bro. That's the plan. You know what I'm saying? I might be at Lake Tahoe. You know what I'm saying? I might be in Belleville, Seattle. You know what I'm saying? I might be in Cheyenne, Wyoming. You know what I'm saying? I might be in Boise, Idaho. I might be out in Utah, Salt Lake City. You don't know where you gonna find ghosts. Cameras out popping, baby. Filing my lawsuits, doing my legal work, baby. Dropping cases, 46,000, baby. If Trump making Wallace great again, that's what we need. We need them businesses. I got to pay taxes. You see what I'm saying? If I'm paying taxes off of that, I'm really paying taxes off something I really feel like I shouldn't pay taxes off. I got a lot of money, but most of that money would come from the U.S. Treasury. All of it, that's on paper, came from the Treasury. So I'm saying, really, it's just like you making me pay taxes on $30,000 that y'all gave me. You feel what I'm saying? I'm saying like, but I gotta pay taxes. I'm saying this time, we're talking about 2027. I'm paying taxes. You see what I'm saying? If I got a $40,000 check from a law firm, I'm gonna have to claim that. Cause he gonna definitely write that on his. That's gonna be in their taxes, 40,000. If I get it from the customer, I still gonna claim it. I wouldn't necessarily have to, but I still would. You see what I'm saying? For my business. That's year number 5. It's time to jump. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to do, bro. I'm talking about like, well, you a paralegal with that kind of skills. God bless you. You know what I'm saying? Every case I write, I want 20 to 40 rates. I could write between 10 of them for you to 15 to 20 a year. You know what I'm saying? Like the way I do it too, man. Like I'm finna go in. I got a case I gotta push the case out. Like I love arguing too, and I love writing. Those are passions for me, pastimes. So not arguing really, but I'm good at it. So I'm writing the argument. You know what I'm saying? Listen to bam. And then I got to do another document. Like, but after that, like, just because I got cases that's open, after them cases, like, really, I could just chill. You see what I'm saying? I still got 1, 2, 3, 4 cases. Yeah, like this 5, 6. Yeah, I still got the cases that's open. You see what I'm saying? I still got cases still litigating. I just dropped this customer. I'm eyeballing this customer to do this $40,000 case. But even though like I got a lot of legal action going on, like that's just the nature of this business. Like I'm gonna just not be doing nothing. You wait. That's what it do. You do a document and you wait a month, 2 weeks or a month. You do a document and you wait 2 weeks or a month. And when they come back, all you doing is a document or 2 to respond. And you wait weeks or a month to do it. That's the game. It's a paper for real. And then in the end, you get to trial. I ain't never been to trial. 27 cases, well, 23, whatever came to conclusion or came to an end, I ain't never went to trial. You know what I'm saying? That's what the lawyers for. You go get the lawyers when they talking about some trial. I do the hearings. I do my hearings. I'm a paralegal. I'm not an attorney. I'm not trying to be a lawyer. I'm not trying to compete with no lawyers. I'm just trying to get the bag that you owe me. And I'm going to do documents, legal documents to get that bag. Because I could do the legal documents better than your attorney. I can't litigate the case better, but I could do the documents better. And I'm a shrewd litigator now. Because I could argue. That's legal wars, baby. It's 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. What time? What we got? What our power looking like? We getting kind of low. Y'all, we like, what? How many hours, y'all? Let's see. We are 3 hours and about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, dedicated time, man. I try to do a little bit, like legally and everything like that. Somebody said I'm a Muslim. This is why I ask, peace be upon Jesus. I feel you being a Muslim, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a choice. You know, I can't hate on you for making that choice. I'm not going to try to judge you. I know some people will judge you. All I'm going to say is I believe that Christ is king, and I don't believe there's no other way to heaven besides Jesus Christ. I believe that. I believe Jesus suffered, he bled, and he died on the cross for our sins. I believe that the blood that Jesus shed is the payment for our sins. I don't believe no man will go to heaven without Jesus Christ. So that means that the Muslims who believe in Muhammad or whoever you guys believe in, you see what I'm saying? That goes for the Jews too. I believe that the Jews, they don't believe in Jesus either. I don't believe they're going to go to heaven without Jesus Christ. Buddha, you know what I'm saying? The people believe in Buddha, Hare Krishna. It don't matter who you believe in. If you're not trusted, you could be believing in yourself. You could think you just a good enough person to where you ain't that bad. You ain't going to go to hell. You know what I'm saying? You're not as bad as Ghost Rider, so you ain't going to go to hell. You could just be thinking you a good person or you a good Christian. If you trusting in anything besides the blood of Jesus Christ, you're going to come up short. You know, God talk about a judgment with books being open and talk about balances. So, you know, he going to wait. What you doing with balances? You wait. You want your good compared to your bad, or you going to come up short. That's what I'm trying to tell you. God is perfect. So he judging it from his perfect view, not from your human view, your misguided or misbiased human view. Judge it from God's perfect view. You're going to come up short. The only way, you know how we talk about a uniform or understood across every nationality, dialect, Jesus Christ. That's the only way. The only way to heaven is by the sacrifice that Jesus Christ made on the cross for our sins. He suffered. They beat him. They ridiculed him. They mocked him. He bled. And he died on the cross, crucified as a payment, as a sacrifice for our sins. That's the only way to heaven. There's no other name under heaven given among men whereby men must be saved. Point blank period. It's Jesus or it's nothing. Christ is king. You said Pence. I didn't think about Mike Pence. Yeah, Mike Pence probably will run for president. I didn't even think about Mike Pence. That's a good point. DeSantis, I don't know about that, man. DeSantis, he a little too, but that's just my personal taste. I understand what you're saying, though, and I appreciate your thoughts. I wish you would have said that earlier whenever we were doing the live stream. Because, yeah, I can definitely see Mike Pence. I forgot about Mike Pence. Mike Pence would take votes probably from Nikki Haley, too. Real talk. I'm saying because I wouldn't see Mike Pence doing too much MAGA, them tying him into MAGA. I think Mike Pence would take votes from Nikki Haley. Facts. Facts. So, that's a good point, Smiley. So someone, Sassy, says she's seen someone going around the Capitol asking senators in Congress, are you with America or Israel? Majority said Israel, so who's representing America? That's facts. That's big facts. That's a problem that I think will plague Americans and Israelis moving forward in that relationship, especially with the younger people. We've been trying to tell them, but they won't listen to what we say. You know what I'm saying? Like when I think the American government, that if it feels like you are being dictated by the Israelis, that's something that a lot of young people are saying in America right now. So that's something we're going to see play out over time with the youth, people voting. All of the young people, 45 or under, all of them are not for wars. They're not for none of that stuff. Me personally, I'm not against supporting Israel, but just allowing them to walk you into wars that don't have nothing to do with us, I think that's dangerous. I think America should lead and not Israel. That's what I think. I understand why BB wanted to fight that war. I get it. I understand it. That's why I said short term, quicken out. Fast and quicken out and be through with it. I understand what BB's, I get it. I get it. But it's a balance to it too. So yeah, I think that sentiment of what Sassy said, I think that will affect Israel over the years and their relationship with Americans, you know what I'm saying, as the youth or the next generation of Americans are about to take power. People who are my age, in their 40s or in the 50s, you know what I'm saying, or in their 30s, you know what I'm saying, about that 20-year, we're about to take power. So I think of people in my age, they're very skeptical about an open-ended relationship with Israel. That's what I call it. Open-ended or one-way relationship with Israel. People in my generation are very skeptical about that. So that's something, if you're a supporter of Israel, Ted Cruz and Mike Huckabee, you want to be aware of that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to overplay that hand of support with Israel and cause people to not support Israel no longer and not support you as you support them. Just a way to look at that, man. If y'all haven't liked the video, y'all double tap the screen, man. That's 3.5 hours. Ghostwriter still in here kicking it with y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna get off though in a minute, man. 3.5 hours, baby. Yeah, baby. Ghost going hard this morning, man. Just for a Miller Right Legal, man. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't never do about my legal documents and stuff, the cases and the stuff that I got going on. But that's why I'm out here. That's what my business is. That's what a Miller Right Legal is. When they look at my taxes, they gonna go off of my business. If you look at my monthly income, the only monthly income that I have really is from YouTube, or besides my disability, you know what I'm saying? But I don't count that. I'm just talking about straight business stuff, you know? Because I don't have no monthly income, but I'm saying I did the work. I'm doing the work. I'm going to get paid. The work going to pay off, period. I'm doing the work. The work going to pay off. It's just the way in my business, it take you 10 to 18 months to get paid. 10 to 18 months to get paid. Imagine going to cut a yard and you got to wait 14 months to get a check for it. Yeah, that's the kind of work I do. It just take a while to get paid. So that's why you see it might look like. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get to 100 episodes of Cruising with Ghost Rider. I might not even be doing that. So you know what I'm saying? Instead of being, I don't even know, man. Like we gonna find out, man. De-escalation tactics in Afghanistan, political mistakes. That's really good, Donnie. Really good. So guys, yeah, y'all, that's my time, man. I think I'm finna roll out. What's tomorrow? Wednesday? I don't think we have a live stream scheduled for Wednesday, but I might pop in and do some members only content. You know what I'm saying? As long as we got as many members as we do, man, I'm going to do some members content. Like, if not daily, like, you know what I'm saying, weekly, like bi-weekly. You know what I'm saying? That's 2 streams for the members in a week. You know what I'm saying? So, and some pretty good content too. So definitely, like, you know what I'm saying? So I might do members content tomorrow. I don't know. If it's warm enough, like, I would love to stream outside, sunshine. You know what I'm saying? I could pick a new place in Hudson Valley, go to New York City, members content, but that's coming. Tax the Rich tour, man. Middle to the end of April, man. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be good. Y'all remember Christ is king, man. As long as Christ is king in your life, everything gonna be okay. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Y'all look out for us in the morning. If I might do a member stream, I don't know. But if not, definitely 7:15 a.m. on Thursday. I'll see y'all then.